Showdown in Charlottesville this weekend. Game 1 on Thursday. Kyle Johnson striking out the side in the first inning. Virginia scoring 4 in the fourth. Antonio Parada with a 2-run jack. Cavaliers win the opener 4-3. Yesterday, FSU got a dominant pitching performance from Trey Beard. He allowed just 2 runs in 5 innings of work. Johnson striking out in a pivotal moment in the 8th inning with 2 men on. Chance to tie the game, but FSU wins 5-2. Setting up a rubber match here, 78 degrees at Disharoon Park in Charlottesville. It's Saturday morning ACC baseball that has a June-like feel. Virginia, Florida State next on ACC Network Extra. Thanks so much for joining us and welcome into the booth. Alongside Robbie Swab, I'm Corey Spector. Robbie, it's been so fun watching this series so far and seeing these pitchers dominate.
Extremely competitive. It is exactly what we wanted coming into an ACC series like this. Highly touted top 10 ranked teams, and the pitching has not disappointed, that's for sure. It
certainly has not. And for the Cavaliers, this is a team that has high aspirations, and for them to hit their ultimate peak, they need their stars to shine.
Yeah, and it starts with Eric Becker and A.J. Gracia. The two middle of the defense right here, shortstop, center fielder. They're the 1-2 punch in the lineup, and you can see their production right there. And one of the things we really want to see from them is some consistency that really starts this offense. You can tell they've had a rough series so far. And so it's really going to depend on this UVA offense for Becker and Gracia to get themselves rolling.
Yeah, for this duo, Gracia had the only 2 hits, both in yesterday's game. For Florida State, 5th game without their superstar, Miles Bailey. 13 of their 37 home runs this season. A first-team freshman All-American last year. Devastating right ankle injury a week ago against Duke, a guy that had an OPS of nearly 1,500 himself. So this offense changes without his services.
Yeah, we're really highlighting Hunter Carnes right here. You know, he's had a really strong series so far, but Coach Jarrett really talked about this entire lineup needing to take a step forward and really match that production that they are lost with Miles.
So Carnes as the cleanup hitter, Chase Williams to lead it off here for FSU in that leadoff spot for the first time this year under 4th-year head coach Link Jarrett, doing battle with Virginia and Chris Pollard. It's been a tight series throughout. Find out how it shapes up today. First pitch from John Payon hits the outside corner for strike 1. The freshman who pitched very well a week ago in Brighton against Boston College.
Yeah, Coach Pollard really loves his maturity, and he's coming off a really good start up in Boston College that got them a win and kind of salvaged the series for them. So looking to see if they can come out and do that here.
Williams launches to left. Harrison Didowick underneath and puts it away for the opening out of the ball game. So John Payon on the bump here for the Cavaliers, freshman from Lexington, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, his 8th start on the season.
Yeah, we just mentioned it. He had a really good start that really got them into the groove up at Boston College, and for a young pitcher, he's got really good, solid composure, and Coach Pollard wants to see that from his freshman on the mound in a really important, pivotal game.
He has performed better against left-handed hitters this season. Lefties hitting just 178, but the Seminoles only have 1 left-handed hitter in their lineup, Braden Dowd. Outside corner, strike 1. Noah Sheffield at the plate, second baseman. We mentioned Bailey's injury a couple of moments ago. It has forced several guys into different spots. Sheffield one of those, and he has played a nice second base over the last couple of days.
He really has, and now he's got the chance to be a pivotal hitter here at the top of the order. It's been really exciting to see him, especially considering the musical chairs that the Florida State infield has had to play since they lost Bailey.
Sheffield smacks one foul, third base side and out of play as Noah Murray pays it a look.
Yeah, you can kind of see Payon's arsenal here. He's got that low to mid-90s fastball. His fastball sitting 94, 95 here in the first inning to pair with that really good breaking pitch. And let's see if he can use that and command it to keep these FSU hitters off balance.
Opponents hitting just .214 against Payon this season. On the high heat, Sheffield strikes out. 97 upstairs.
Yeah, I just said low to mid, but 9.7 is definitely upper 90. So, you know what? To a hitter, that fastball looks like it's going to be about belt high, and he's just got such good ride on it that it just ran right up there, up above his hands. That is a tough pitch to handle. It's also a tough pitch to lay off of because you're looking to hit a fastball.
Now Braden Dowd. Just a bit low for with 6 home runs this season. It is a severe loss without Bailey. Not as much of a power surge for this Seminoles offense, as Robbie mentioned earlier, manufacturing offense in different ways.
Yeah, you saw Florida State. That's not typically known for their bunting ability, but they laid down 2 bunts, one for a hit yesterday, and it really kind of threw the UVA defense, caught them a little bit off guard.
Cavaliers defensively just a little bit sloppy in this series. They've committed 5 errors in the first 2 games. Payon can't locate that breaking ball, and it's a 2-1 count. 4 2/3 for Payon against BC last weekend on Sunday. Gave up just the 1 run, 1 hit. Did walk 4, but struck out 6 through 75 pitches in that outing against the Eagles. Behind here, 3-1 to Dowd. Hunter Carnes on deck if the inning were to continue. Florida State 23-7 overall, 8-3 in the ACC. Against Virginia, 24-8, 8-6 in the conference. Payon's 3-1, too tall for ball 4. So the Seminoles with a 2-out base runner.
Yeah, that's a really good at-bat right there by Dowd. When you're the 3 hitter coming into the top of the first inning, you got 2 quick outs from your first hitter and your second hitter, and one of the things you really need to do is have a great at-bat and extend this inning, see if you can't get this guy to the stretch and change his mind a little bit. And obviously with Carnes coming up, he had a really good day yesterday. Let's see if he can continue that.
That is smacked the opposite way. Off the bat of Carnes. Kyle Johnson underneath it. And the two-way player has it for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left on for FSU. Virginia to bat next. Cavaliers to bat for the first time, an offense that's averaging over 9 runs per game, top 10 in the nation. Everyone in the starting batting order here for UVA has multiple home runs this season, including the 8th guy, Antonio Parada, who has played very well of late.
Yeah, he's been taking some amazing at-bats, really good swings. You know, we looked at his series numbers. He's only gotten out twice in the 2 games here, and so Coach Pollard has to put him in there at DH, and, you know, you got Kyle Johnson out there in right field. I'm looking to see at the bottom of this order can kind of spark it back to the top, which is with Eric Becker and AJ Gracia.
Yeah, you mentioned the bottom of the order. Noah Murray walks a ton. Oh, Bryson Moore, he's familiar with these digs. A former Cavalier on the bump here for FSU.
Yeah, what an exciting opportunity he's gotten. He transferred from UVA. He pitched here for the last 2 years, and now he's getting a pivotal start, repping the Florida State colors back here in Charlottesville and in his actual home state of Virginia.
Fairfax guy makes his 8th start on the season. He's coming off a rough one against Duke on Sunday. Was handed the loss in that game, gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings of work. With the Cavaliers a year ago, he only made 7 appearances. Had a forearm flare-up that cost him about 2 months of the season, but thankfully, when we spoke with Coach Jarrett, he said that Bryson is feeling healthy this year and ready to roll here in Charlottesville as he takes on Eric Becker, the shortstop for UVA, who leads the team with 13 doubles this year, but hitless in this series. Becker takes inside for ball 1.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of different pitches from Moore. Coach named 5 different pitches for him. He's got a pretty good fastball, and what Coach really wants to see out of Moore this afternoon is if he's really finishing those pitches. That's when he's really got an effective movement to all of his different pitches, but he specifically mentioned that fastball.
Changeup has certainly come a long way. The cutter, sweeper, curveball. He said all three are functional. He needs to be very aggressive with those today. Becker fouls off the 2-0. We're getting up to 94 there on the fastball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does today. You know, coming back to a place you've been before, coming off of a rough start down against Duke. We'll see if he can really ratchet up the intensity and have put together a good start for the Noles.
Becker, not a guy that walks a lot, just 10 free passes on the season. And as the leadoff man trying to get on base here against his former teammate in Bryson Moore. 3-1, that's low for ball 4, and Becker walks for just the 11th time this year.
Yeah, I like to see that from Becker. I like the 2-0 swing on a fastball just underneath it. I know Coach thinks that's going to be a really good at-bat to start. And you'd love having the guy on base when Gracia's coming to the bat. Certainly do. Gracia, a .345 hitter on the season, had a couple of hits yesterday. Former Blue Devils, second team All-ACC selection a year ago. FSU shortstop Carter McCulley playing right behind the second base bag. A lot of room on the left side if Gracia would like to take it. Well, this was not the issue for the Cavaliers yesterday. They got men on, but they were just 2 for 19 at the plate with runners on base. Gracia elevates it to left. Chase Williams, who had an adventure out there in left yesterday, he puts that one away for a long out number 1. It can be very difficult navigating a new outfield, a new depth perception, everything when you talk about doing that. But you know what? His athleticism really helped him out. And sometimes you get a little lucky, and that just helps.
Turn it down to the number 3 hitter, Sam Harris. A few games ago in the midweek against Old Dominion, he was 5 for 5 with 2 homers. Becker goes, throw down to second, too late. And Becker swipes just his second bag of the season.
Really good jump by Becker right there, and a good slide. That's a tough throw, tough pitch for the catcher to really get anything behind. You see, the catcher was his weight kind of took him to third base, so he couldn't get everything on that throw, so he one-hopped it. I don't know if he was expecting Becker to steal there.
Harris bounces to the right side. Noah Sheffield makes a strong toss. 2 out of the inning as Becker advances to third. Harris, the team leader in batting average this season at .350. So it's left now to Joe Tiroli. 30 runs batted in on the season, hoping to give Virginia the advantage to start us off here. Tiroli with 2 hits in each of the first 2 games of this series. Had an RBI single in the 5th inning yesterday as Tiroli attacks the first pitch. Right side. And the first baseman, Eli Putnam, puts it away for the final out of the inning. So Becker with a leadoff walk. He's stranded at third. Game remains scoreless to the second we go. Tell you what, anytime the bucket hats are out in early April, that is a very good sign. We have been treated to some wonderful weather here in Central Virginia throughout the weekend as we finish up a 3-game set, pushing up this series up by a day with the Easter holiday tomorrow. Very grateful to get this game in at an 11 a.m. first pitch. John Payon with a 13-pitch first inning, and his counterpart and Bryson Moore only tossed 10 as you get a look at his pitch mix throughout the season. A lot of variety for the freshman.
Yeah, really exciting. You can see that's a sinker right there. It's really got a lot of run, which is going to hopefully pay dividends against these right-handed hitters with his velocity. You saw him reach up to 97 in the first inning. He can really bore that in on some hitters and then pair that slider with it.
Challenging Kelvin Paulino Jr. net right now, the designated hitter, a .329 batter on the season. Paulino, the true freshman from Thomasville, North Carolina, in the Winston-Salem area. Bounces one foul, third base side. Division I baseball, a freshman second-team mid-season All-American. We have yet to see his potential, though, in this series. He is 0 for 8 with a couple of strikeouts. Robbie touched on it earlier. We spoke with Link Jarrett before the series, and we talked about the absence of Miles Bailey. And we suggested, hey, can you look towards one or two guys to really elevate their games? He said, no, I really don't believe that. In the game of baseball, guys come up every 45 minutes to an hour, so you just need everyone to sprinkle a little bit more effort into their ABs.
Yeah, the intensity level, you really start to break things down in terms of a very small details, trying to create production and things like that. And as we get a good picture of Coach Jarrett right there, he's had success everywhere he's went, and you know, Florida State's his alma mater.
Yeah, there were some rumblings in the offseason with Tony Vitello leaving Tennessee for San Francisco Giants. Would Jarrett's name get thrown around? Well, he got a contract extension, and his AD saying that, look, this is a guy that belongs in Tallahassee. He married a cheerleader that went to FSU. He played under the legendary Mike Martin. So the FSU baseball program is home for him, and you can really feel the passion he has for this program when you speak to him.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Man on first base. We got a bunt show here just to maybe see what the Virginia defense is doing. Let's see if that continues.
Eli Putnam, the redshirt senior, transferred from Davidson. Lets that one go by for strike one. Putnam, a really talented hitter at the A-10 level, two-time first-team all-conference over the last 2 seasons. Hit 35 home runs with the Wildcats in those 2 years.
Yeah, that's some power that you honestly really need, and he obviously hit some baseballs hard yesterday, but it'll be interesting to see if Florida State is showing that they want to manufacture a run, or if they are just kind of trying to confuse the Virginia defense.
You know, they have some speedy guys towards the top of the lineup, but not a team that has stolen a lot of bases throughout the season. Florida State on the year with just 31 stolen bags in 30 games. Conversely, we spoke with Chris Pollard before the series, and we proposed a question. Do you expect Florida State to adopt some of the ideals that, say, a Boston College team has with the small ball approach? He said, no, they're not going to change entirely, but yeah, they might mix in some different things.
Yeah, Coach really talked about more specific players, things like that. So, you know, you kind of have to pick your spot. You know, the offensive doesn't shift just because you lose one player. Like Coach Jarrett said, one player does not an offense make. But one of the things you need to do is step up the production and play to people's strengths.
1-2, bouncing ball foul off the bat of Putnam. Yeah, I have to imagine it's such a challenge for a coach, right? Because you don't want to show panic, like, okay, we're going to change everything we do. That being said, you're trying to enhance your lineup the best way possible without your big bombers. So there's a lot of calculus that goes into this thing.
Yeah, and you also want to be straight with your guys. You know, one of the things you can't say is you can't act like it didn't happen. And so we do have to change and adjust. And I think being truthful in assessing that and also sticking to the things that got you to where you are, there's a good balance. And especially with these really experienced, really well-versed head coaches, they're so good at talking to their players. They're so good at understanding the emotional places and the emotional well-being of their kids now. And so they really know how to push the right buttons for their student athletes to perform at their best. And honestly, the goal is to win baseball games.
Payone's 2-2. He gets the swinging strikeout of Putnam. Second strikeout for the freshman today.
Yeah, you see that slider right there. Putnam's head kind of comes out of the swing a little bit right here. It's in the middle. I know Putnam would want that one back but when you get a slider like that, you really have to track it at the top of its break and then really keep your head in there at contact. And it looked like Putnam just kind of got a little too happy and tried to pull out the head of his swing just a little bit.
So Putnam fan for the 30th time this year, and now the third baseman, Cal Fisher. By the way, back on the topic of Miles Bailey, we were told by Coach Jarrett that he had successful surgery over the weekend. He said the first few days were always going to be the most challenging, dealing with that pain, but thankfully he's back to a somewhat normal sleep schedule. He's moving around on the scooter, and that's always a great thing to hear, and glad that he's in good spirits.
That slider right there looked like it just clipped the bottom of the zone. I don't think Fisher was really happy about that one. But unfortunately, there's no ABS system here in college baseball yet. But
no. Think it happens anytime soon, by the way, now that you mention it?
I think it's going to depend on if you have enough places with the technology. And so I can't really see it becoming just a playoff thing. I think there's so many different venues, whereas in pro sports, you know what the venue is, and they're pretty established, and they have the resources to do that. And I wonder if the technology becomes as readily available as it is.
All those high-speed cameras that get the job done. Fisher lines one to left. Didowick looks up. It's gone! Cal Fisher with a jack. His first homer of the season. Yeah, he looks up to the sky. Finally! Florida State takes the lead on the road.
Well, Fisher got a breaking pitch right out in front. And you ask any coach, if you want to have the highest chance of slugging the baseball, meaning getting an extra base hit, you want to pull the ball and you want to pull it in the air. And Fisher gets the barrel of the bat around this breaking pitch. You see it's up there, and he hit that one about 350 feet, and it just gets over the yellow line here. You can see it.
Exit velo of 100. Cal Fisher, who hit 8 home runs a season ago, hit over 300. It takes him 101 at-bats to finally get his first this season. And you could feel him just oozing the emotion out. Let's go, yes!
I love that. That dude is so excited.
That's a rope the opposite way, and a base hit for John Stutzer, the freshman right fielder. And the Seminoles with back-to-back hits here in the second against Payon, who just surrendered just his 3rd home run of the season.
Yeah, Payon's got that good fastball, but Stutzer right there gets on top of that ball and lashes it into right field. It's a pretty good piece of hitting, especially with a big-time fastball, but UVA is going to do a little mound visit to see if they can't get Payon to settle down.
And pitching coach Brady Kirkpatrick makes his way out there. 3 seasons under Coach Pollard at Duke. Now his first year at UVA. A quick chat with his freshman right-hander. Well, they talk about his maturity and his competitive toughness a lot. Traffic jams galore throughout the season, but he's managed his way through plenty of those. So bouncing back from adversity, though, against a top 10 team in FSU might be a tad different than some of the other opponents that Virginia has faced throughout the season. We're going to learn a lot about this guy right now.
Yeah, I think so. One of the things I think you're really going to learn is if he can continue using the same process. When you start getting into these games that are way more important, conference games, game 3s of, even series, things like that, you can think the task is bigger than it actually is.
And look, some of you might be tuning in. 11 a.m. start. Just has kind of a casual feel, right? No, that's not the case. Runner goes. Jake Weatherspoon tosses. And in there safely is Stutzer with his first stolen base of his career. But we spoke with Link Jarrett, and obviously this was elevated after the injury to Bailey. But he said all these conference series, especially ones on the road against the top 10 team in Virginia, they feel like super regionals for us, and we're playing it just like that.
Well, it's a super regional matchup. I mean, these two teams have the storied program, things like that, but they also have the big league talent.
Murray thought about throwing to second. Instead, he goes across the diamond for out number 2. Baseball next week. We'll have the big 3-game series between number 7 Florida State and number 3 Georgia Tech. Thursday and Friday night's games are on ACC Network, with the series finale Saturday afternoon on ACC Network Extra. Like everything else, all games are available on the ESPN app as well. Georgia Tech just off to an incredible start this season. They've won 7 straight, number 1 in the nation in team batting average, on base percentage. You name an offensive category, they are thriving. You were talking about that super regional feel.
Love it. I mean, when you have your best players playing against the other team's best players, when you have the highest talent playing against each other, that's what makes it compelling. It's one of the reasons why we are super excited to be here.
Yes, we are. Number 9 hitter is Carter McCulley. Shortstop was 1 for 3 on Thursday. Took an 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. He is starting his 6th consecutive game. Talk about all the changes that have been made for Florida State. Chase Williams here.
What's interesting here is UVA's third baseman is playing even with the base with 2 outs. And one of the things that typically you see from a third baseman is they're playing a little bit further back, but I think they're doing this to, number 1, respect Williams' speed in case he decides to lay a bunt down. Typically with 2 outs, your third baseman is playing back so they can keep everything on the infield, especially with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Williams is a guy that certainly tests you with his speed. Gets tied up that time. Ouch. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Williams goes for a little bit of a jog. Umpires tell him, you're coming back here.
Yeah. I don't think the UVA dugout got that. The umpire clearly called that a swing. And regardless, the rule is even if you are hit by the baseball, if you swing at the pitch, it is a strike. And so being hit by the ball actually doesn't automatically award you to go to first base. If you swing the bat, you're still out. And you'll see right here, he clearly swings the bat. It hits him on the back foot. Ouchies. That never feels good. But you see there clearly the umpire pointing, noting, hey, he swung the bat. What should have happened is you should have said dead ball, even though it is still a dead ball because it hit the batter.
You can feel the competitive juices down there. Ooh. Jumping grab. Eric Becker denying Williams a base hit. And that retires the side, but not before Florida State takes the lead. Cal Fisher hits one 100 miles per hour off the bat. His first homer of the season, and he lets go of all that emotion. Noles up by a pair. Fairfax native and former Cavalier Bryson Moore back at the dish, this time pitching for Florida State. Pretty successful 2-year tenure with UVA under former head coach Brian O'Connor, former pitching coach Drew Dickinson, who's now at Mizzou. Fun opportunity for Bryson today.
Yeah, and he's getting to face Harrison Didowick, who is also came into UVA with him. Actually, he's a year older than Harrison, but these guys were teammates for 2 straight years, so they must know each other very well.
Well, this Cavaliers roster does feature a lot of new faces with the addition of Coach Pollard, but Didowick, one of those mainstays from UVA over the last few years. Cavaliers do have 27 newcomers of the 41 on the team. They brought in 12 via the portal, but Coach Pollard has talked about the leadership of Didowick and Becker, and those two being very instrumental for other guys just feeling comfortable here on grounds. That's lined up the middle on a base hit. Harrison Didowick, who is having a renaissance season, gives the Cavaliers a leadoff base runner in the second.
Yeah, this is a hard ground ball. This is 110 off the bat. Nice one-hopper through the infield. And second inning in a row, UVA's had a runner on base, and they need to shift that trend if they're going to score any runs today of getting big hits when they got runners on base.
Well, Didowick was 0 for 9 in the first 2 games of this series, primarily facing lefties, and he just tears up right-handed pitchers this year, hitting .346. Now Jake Weatherspoon. Junior catcher from Melbourne. Indian River State College, a couple of years with the River in Florida. Got off to a delayed start to this season. Weatherspoon missing a handful of weeks with an injury in the preseason. He has started now 14 of the last 15 games dating back to mid-March against Virginia Tech, and he has thrived, hitting .340. Leans out of the way of that breaking ball from Moore.
Yeah, and he's had a good series so far. He's got 4 hits, an extra base hit, a couple RBIs. Love hitting a catcher 6, man. I don't know what it is about catchers hitting 6th or 2nd.
It's almost like we have a former catcher speaking up here.
Love it. Maybe that's just because where I hit when I was playing baseball 1,000 years ago.
Where did you like hitting most?
2nd. Love it. I was a little lefty hitter. Could slap it. Brian McCann was my favorite baseball player.
It's a good choice.
My favorite baseball player is Drake Baldwin now. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan.
Grew up watching Glavine and Smoltz and all those boys, huh?
Absolutely.
1-2, Weatherspoon sucks one to left, and it's another base knock for UVA's catcher. Cavaliers with 2 men on and nobody out.
Yeah, another hard hit line drive here. Moore leaves a little breaking pitch up. That looked like his slider. And Weatherspoon deposits it in the left field.
Jake now with 5 hits in the series, hit a home run in the 6th inning yesterday. Just his 2nd home run of the season, and not a guy that necessarily possesses a lot of power dating back to his time in junior college. Time is called here as FSU's pitching coach Micah Posey makes his way over to the mound.
That was a slow walk to the mound. I think he's just trying to give him some time.
Coming up at 4 Eastern on ACC Network, we'll have some women's lacrosse action for you. The number 18 Blue Devils hosting number 3 Syracuse. Should be a great one like everything else. It's also available on the ESPN app. The UVA women's lacrosse team playing at Klockner Stadium yesterday. North Carolina, the reigning national champs, took care of them. That time of year for spring sports, the games get more and more important down the stretch. So looking forward to watching that one on the network. Now Kyle Johnson, two-way player for UVA. He played both ways with the Duke Blue Devils over the last 2 seasons. Johnson, the starting pitcher for UVA on Thursday night through 4 scoreless innings. Got out of a big-time traffic jam early. He allowed the 2 players for Florida State to reach base off the top, but then struck out the side. And now we really get our first opportunity to see him at the plate. Johnson was a pinch hitter yesterday and struck out in a key moment in the 8th inning with 2 men on. It feels kind of cliche, Robbie, to say this, but this guy feels like the ultimate X factor for this team. A little bit of a bobble on the exchange there, but they still get the double play. So it took an extra half beat for the second baseman Sheffield. 6-4-3, 2 out of the inning.
Yeah, Johnson got a breaking ball here, but this is your classic 6-4-3 double play. A little bit of a bobble there, but Johnson's not a burner. They were able to get it across nonetheless, but good for the Florida State defense on getting 2 with 1, and now they got 2 outs.
Now Parado hit a home run yesterday, fouls it off. Robbie, I must say, for this Florida State team, we talked about the loss of Miles Bailey and how that's affected the infield with guys being put into different positions. Putnam moving from second base to first. Sheffield moving in from the outfield. McCulley getting more opportunities at short. Cal Fisher going from short to third. I've been pretty impressed with their infield defense throughout the series.
Yeah, it seems to have been really solid right here.
And Parado slowly jogs to first. And Florida State gets out of the jam. So Carter McCulley with a strong throw from short to retire the side. So the Cavaliers spoil an opportunity, still trail by 2. Another gorgeous day at Disharoon Park in Charlottesville, Virginia. Cavaliers playing in their 19th home game of the season, 15-3 so far. Florida State winners yesterday. Seminoles improving to 8-3 in the ACC, only behind the #3 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Virginia currently in a tie for 5th with Wake Forest as these teams continue to jockey for position. Never too early to start paying attention to this stuff.
No, these ACC series are extremely important, and you can see right there with these 2 teams at the top of the heap right here in the top 5. A win in one person's column is a loss in another, and that stuff affects everything as we go forward, and is really, really important when they're talking about the NCAA tournament and where you kind of slot into the seeding there.
When we started the season about 6 weeks ago, did you have Boston College in your top 5 in the ACC? What a remarkable start for that club.
Well, you know what? They do a really good job of staying within themselves. They pitch really well, and as Virginia kind of got into it last weekend, they offensively know how to manufacture and score runs when they need to.
Yeah, frigid temperatures in Brighton last weekend, and Virginia had to contend with that. Cavaliers, surprisingly to many, lost 2 out of 3 to BC, but Todd Interdonato has done a fantastic job with that program now in his 3rd year. John Payon facing Noah Sheffield here for FSU. Sheffield struck out on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball back in the top half of the first. Love the way he waves his bat, very reminiscent of another guy named Sheffield. Oh yeah, his father, Gary.
That's exactly right. I don't know if I've ever seen someone try to successfully emulate Gary Sheffield's hands, but if there is one person who could, it would be his offspring.
Well, interesting way to put it. You know, you talked about your Atlanta Braves fandom. I'll say for me, the most iconic batting stance of my upbringing was Gary's.
Oh, as an Atlanta Brave, he was a force to be reckoned with, and it's really exciting.
Son Noah lifts one out to left. Dive and try. Yes, sir! Harrison Didowick extends to prevent extra bases.
The fact that he is left-handed actually really helped him here. He is full out, full extension. If we get a look right there, yeah, there you go. Get it back together there, Harrison, but he is on a dead sprint all the way. This had extra base hits written all over it, and a complete full-out layout. Shades of flying. Grass stain, that's how you know you play baseball. Grass stains and dirt stains.
6'4", and he used all of that.
And it's a line out in the book.
Yep. Now it turns to Braden Dowd. You know, you speak with Coach Pollard, a guy who was really, quite honestly, just starting to get to know Harrison. Didowick, a returner to this team. Pollard moving over from Durham, and he's really appreciated the relationship that he's built with Harrison. And he said, look, someone's going to draft this guy in whatever round this summer, and they're going to get a great baseball player, but they're also going to get a great man. And when he makes plays like that, it makes you feel so great to watch a guy like that do something so awesome.
It's amazing in any walk of life when you have great humans with having great success. And Coach Pollard could not have spoken more highly of Harrison Didowick.
Dowd with the grounder up the middle, past the glove. And a one-out base hit here for Dowd, who reaches base for the second time.
Yeah, that ground ball just found a way through. With the one left-handed hitter, it's interesting that Becker was playing so far into the into the 6 hole, which is the one that's closer to third base. And how a ball that took that many hops wasn't hit super hard off the bat. Got through.
FSU now with 3 hits on the game. Hunter Carnes, who flew out to right field to end the first. Yeah, he has shouldered the load for this Seminoles team offensively in this series so far. Runner goes. Weatherspoon slings too late. And Dowd steals his 6th base of the season. FSU with a man in scoring position with 1 out. Yeah, Carnes getting more opportunity behind the plate. Nathan Schmela is another catcher, Ashburn native, that they have wanted to work in more. He's made 12 starts on the season. He's not on the trip. Shoulder locked up. He hasn't played since March 24th against Florida, a guy who you know quite well.
Yeah, I remember Schmela back here in UVA baseball camp when he came, and he was a little 8th grader, and they liked him then. And it's great to see these kids who are so Virginia. The baseball in the state of Virginia is really, really talented, and it's only getting better.
Payon deals a strike, and it's 1-2.
Makes sense that a lot of these coaches all over the country are tapping into the Virginia market.
And it's something Coach Pollard did for a very long time down in Duke.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of people he brought from Duke are from Virginia.
One-two from Payon. That is roped out to right center, and it's extra bases potentially here for Carnes. Rounds first, slides into second safely. FSU scores a run as Dowd comes in, and the Seminoles tack on one more. It's 3-0 FSU.
That's just a really good job of hitting it. He keeps his head down on that pitch. and drives it out, and as you can see, it just splits the gap on a line. Payone's got that really good sinker with a lot of action, but really good job by Carnes keeping his head in there on that swing and driving it out to the outfield.
Huge swing and a miss here from Paulino for strike one. We've seen terrific pitching performances in this series. Beard yesterday, Johnson in the opener. But Florida State starting to get to this freshman just a little bit here in the third. By the way, we talk about all those Virginia connections for Coach Pollard. He is from the Commonwealth originally, from Amherst County. 1-1. Paulino fouls it off behind the screen and out of play. It's been really refreshing to get his perspective throughout the season. Very generous with his time and his thoughts. And he is fit like a glove here in Charlottesville. He says he really appreciates the administration and all the effort that they have put in. He says the most difficult thing that he's had to do, expense reports. They take a while.
Look, nobody likes to do that stuff, but it's really important.
1-2, swing and a miss. And Paulino strikes out. Third strikeout here for Payone.
Yeah, that's a really good slider off the plate there. One of the things that he did, he started that on the plate and worked it off, which is a really good job with 2 strikes. And Paulino wasn't going to do much with that, even if he did make contact. And with the runner in scoring position, that's a good job. He needs to bear down here and see if he can continue to execute pitches like that.
Paulino now 0 for 9 in the series. Here's Putnam for strike one. As a former ops guy yourself, I'm sure those expense reports gave you some nightmares.
Yes, they did. You would not believe all of the different things you kind of have to purchase as you go throughout the day, from food to hotels to recruiting visits to the whole. There's so much that goes into working these college baseball programs. These guys are not just head coaches. They don't just coach baseball. They're CEOs. They are managing a really intense organization.
Smack the opposite way. Putnam with a base hit. Carnes rounds third. He'll score without a throw, and FSU has doubled up the lead. It is 4-0 Seminoles.
Yeah, nice short compact swing here from Putnam, and he just hits another little line drive through and keeps the train moving with 2 outs. And you will make money if you can put a base hit in the outfield with 2 outs and drive runners in. 2-out RBIs are like gold in college baseball, as it is with any baseball.
And Putnam was really the catalyst for this team yesterday. Drew a bases loaded walk in the 3rd inning that gave the Seminoles the lead. And FSU, just like Virginia, a team that really thrives when scoring first, as Lucas Hartman is warming up for UVA, one of the best relievers in the nation so far in 2026. FSU, when scoring first this season, 18-2, and when the Noles have the lead after 6, they are perfect. Here comes Brady Kirkpatrick for UVA. Hartman, by the way, threw a 1-2-3 8th inning. His stuff was fantastic on Thursday night in the series opener. So he handed the baseball over to the closer, Kappa, who also retired at the side in the 9th inning to give Virginia a 4-3 lead 2 nights ago. Transfer from Western Kentucky is Hartman. And a guy who throws with a lot of velocity, but he is a tactician on the mound.
You know, it's funny. As a teacher, I'm always looking for teaching opportunities. And is this start going like Payone had wanted? No, it's not. But you know what he did? He was looking his coach in the eye. Even though, yes, he's clearly disappointed with how it is, but if you're a young pitcher out there, when a coach is talking to you, you look him right in the eye. And a really respectful guy right there, and That doesn't mean you don't get to be disappointed, but I just like the body language, even though, yes, that's a tough outing. A little under 60 pitches. Didn't put us in a really pivotal game, really important game. But I do like to see the fact that he's a mature young man, and he's going to wait to pass the ball along to his other guy. You know, that's a really good look right there for the Virginia, and let's see what we got.
Payon just gets 8 outs. Virginia to the bullpen next. The grizzled vet, Lucas Hartman, comes in for the Cavaliers for the 2nd time in this series. Hartman pitching a 1-2-3 8th inning on Thursday against Florida State. He got Sheffield to fly out, Carnes to strike out, and a Paulino pop out to short. This guy has been awesome. Amongst those who qualify, he is #1 in the ACC with an ERA of 1.32.
Yeah, it's, you know, taking a page out of Florida State's book yesterday. Yes, it's early, but just to give you an idea, Hartman is a high leverage reliever, and he's going to be called on to really get the UVA team put up a couple of zeros so that if this offense can really get going. So it doesn't surprise me that he's in, but it may look a little surprising to those who are around because Hartman's typically a high leverage late reliever, and we're only in the top of the 3rd.
Well, he is a guy who gets itchy in the bullpen as he takes on Cal Fisher here with the home run against Payon back in the 2nd. He's always telling Pollard, get me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm ready to go for you today.
Yeah, he is a bit of a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he can do pretty much anything. If you need a couple of innings out of him, if you need an out, if you need, you know, to have somebody like that in your bullpen that you can use and who is ready no matter what builds a lot of trust with a head coach. Not to mention the fact that he's got that wicked splitter and a really good fastball to pair along with it.
Kind of has that kitchen sink approach, says his head coach. Ball and 2 strikes here to Fisher. Swings and grounds 1 to the left side. Backhanded try for Becker. Long throw, and it's bobbled by the first baseman Harris. So that allows the Seminoles to continue the inning here with already 2 in.
Yeah, Becker gets this on the backhand, running towards 3rd base. So all of his momentum's towards 3rd base, but he has to throw across his body. Just doesn't quite get there, and Harris can't pick it. But that is a very impressive play to make that play. It's understandable why he's looked at as a potential big league shortstop.
So they give Fisher an infield single there, allowing Putnam to advance to 2nd. And with 2 outs, here's John Stutzer, who singled and stole a base back in the 2nd. First hit of the series for Stutzer after starting 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. And the ball gets into the outfield and gives FSU's base runners an extra 90 feet. So Putnam and Fisher take advantage of that. And the Noles with a huge opportunity here to really dent the scoreboard.
Yeah, this was a called pickoff play. meaning that it wasn't something I don't think Hartman had decided on its own. They worked together, but couldn't collect it at second base. A Tiroli right there, and it gets all the way into center field. But now a base hit gets you two.
2-strike count here with 2 outs. 4-0 Florida State advantage. Hartman deals and Stutzer strikes out. So Hartman limits the damage here. Comes in after Payon left him a mess. Virginia still in the ball game. Florida State up by 4. Up the number 7 Knowles with a 4-0 advantage thanks to 2 runs in inning number 2 and inning number 3. They have knocked John Payon out of the ball game. Bryson Moore continues for FSU, the former UVA Cavalier. 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors thus far for FSU. Cavaliers have yet to score with 2 hits and an error. Virginia sends up 9-1-2 here in the home half of the 3rd, beginning with Noah Murray. Guy who does not have a high batting average below the Mendoza line, but he does lead the team with 35 walks on the season. Very patient approach, has a very good eye. First pitch to Murray is in there for a strike. Oh, now we are pleased to be joined by yesterday's starter, Trey Beard, downstairs with Florida State. Trey, it's Corey and Robbie upstairs. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We are doing quite well. We appreciate your time and your perspective here. Let's go back to your start yesterday. What'd you think of your performance?
Yeah, I mean, I felt good out there. I wanted to. My goal was to give our team the best chance to win, and I feel like I did a good job doing that. I mean, looking back at it, there's a few things I want to take back, but I mean, I'm happy with the performance.
Hey, Trey. Hey, Trey. Robbie Swab here. Really saw the lefty on lefty matchups. You see a lot of lefties. When's the last time you saw that many lefties in the lineup against you?
Yeah, no, it's been a while, especially coming off last week. I think it was majority righty. The majority lefty was definitely a little different look.
Did that change your game plan yesterday at all, or?
To be honest, not really. We knew what we had to do, and it was just fill up the zone and make them attack. Really, that was the goal.
Trey, you're known for having one of the best changeups in the land. I don't know how many trade secrets you'd like to give away here, but what makes that pitch so effective for you?
I feel like deception is just a big thing with the changeups, especially just making your arm speed the same as the fastball. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Make that pitch look like it's something else. So that's what I try to do out there.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme with all of the pitches now these days, but having a really good fastball changeup combination from a lefty, did you have any pitchers that you kind of tried to emulate when you were growing up?
To be honest, I feel like every lefty, you got to go with the Clayton Kershaw answer. I mean, and then recently getting into it, like the Skubal with the changeup, the Cole Reagans with the changeup, all those guys, especially getting to see Cole Reagans over at Tallahassee this offseason. I mean, it was just cool to seeing guys like that.
Very cool. Cole Reagans being the Royals opening day starter, so he's a big leaguer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good person to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know, I know you've talked about this before, Trey, but You know, this Florida State program produces big-time left-handers. You think about guys like Jamie and Joey last year. So why was it so attractive for you to come to this program?
Yeah, I mean, having a left-handed pitching coach, I think, is a big thing. I don't think I've ever had a left-handed pitching coach before. That's a cool thing. He relates to a lot of things that normal, like, right-handed. That boy, dog.
Heads up. They saved you.
Yeah, but having a left-handed pitching coach it's just relatable, and seeing the success from the lefties in the past few years, I mean, it's just awesome to see. I think it made it an easy choice.
Your reflexes, are you ready in the dugout as you are on the mound?
Yes, definitely. Stay alert.
Yikes. Hey, that's a good teammate, though, right there.
Long fly ball out to left, and Williams makes the catch here on Eric Becker.
Hey, Trey, can you give us a little bit on Bryson and how he's done and what your experience has been with him this year?
Yeah, I mean, Bryson's just a competitor. He's got elite stuff, just nasty stuff, and he just goes out there and does his thing. I mean, he's a great guy. He's my roommate at school, so I know a good bit about him. He's just an awesome dude.
Great to hear, Trey, and it's awesome to hear your perspective. Your team now 6-0 when you start games this year. Congrats on all the success, and continue enjoying the game, okay?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, appreciate you being here. That's Trey Beard, junior left-hander, D1 Baseball's number 10 starting pitcher after week 6, and he was ranked as the number 1 transfer in the nation in the offseason by D1 Baseball, and you understand why with some of the microscopic numbers he's put up throughout the year.
Yeah, and it was on display yesterday. He navigated a really potent UVA lineup, and seems like just a really joyful kid, and is really trying to find himself as a college athlete, and he's really stepping into his own here with Florida State. And not to mention, you said this yesterday, they've had a lot of lefties that he's got to see as an example, and he's just another long line in that.
Yeah, we touched on it with Jamie Arnold, who was the number 11 overall pick by the A's in the draft this past summer, second-team All-American a year ago. He was 8-2. Joey Bellini, who transferred to Florida State after 3 years at USF, he was a 6th-round pick. And this guy, Trey Beard, first-team All-American Athletic Conference a year ago. He was 7-1, and he has displayed, you could argue, even better pitching this year. And look, Trey, very personable guy. But these guys got to be alert down there. And someone saved him of a baseball in his chops. I couldn't tell if the guys were more fired up about that or the 4 runs they've put up on the board so far.
Oh, yeah. I think Florida State's dugout's just generally fired up. They got a 4-run lead. Game 3.
Fives are high down there.
High fives are high.
Believe it was Gabe Nard downstairs who shielded him of the baseball, and his roommate Bryson Moore with the strikeout. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the former Cavalier against the current iteration of the Who's. 4-0 FSU. Well, Florida State off to a strong start on the road, thanks to Cal Fisher, a 2-run shot to give the Noles a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, that really broke it up right there and broke the tie. But, you know, one of the things I've seen from Florida State is they've really shortened up and put some balls in play with 2 strikes.
That's Hunter.
You know, with the
Carnes
RBI single on a fastball here, yes, that's Hunter Carnes. And today, like you said, they're driving in some runs and not trying to do too much and generate power. They're just trying to put the ball in play and hit it hard.
Saw the numbers there without Miles Bailey, and that one is scorched foul. Now, Bailey, such an instrumental part of really everything Florida State does. And this offense went into a little bit of hibernation over the last 4 games, but showcasing some potential here today. 6 for their first 15.
Yeah, coach really likes their talent. It's just when you have when the heartbeat of your team that Miles Bailey was, or still is, has to step off. You just really need everybody to elevate themselves, and sometimes with that emotional, you know, roller coaster, it can take a minute, and we're seeing it today. Come out putting on 4 runs in the first 3 innings.
And Coach Jarrett said they tried to visit Miles before they left for Charlottesville, but Miles just was not in the best mental space for that to happen. They hope to see him early next week once they get back to Tallahassee. Now McCulley, who grounded out to the third baseman Murray his first time up, deposits one into center. Gracia backpedaling, and he puts it away for out number 1.
You know, that's the wrong part of the park to hit it. He hit that pretty good. That one was 99 off the bat. He hit it 380 feet, which again was 30 feet longer than the home run that Fisher hit, but he just hit it to the wrong part of the park.
404 out in straightaway center field, 370 in the gaps. Third time through the order here. Now Chase Williams back up. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a line out. Lucas Hartman remains in here for UVA. Got the final out of the 3rd inning. Numbers are finished now on John Payon, the freshman starter. 2 2/3, gave up 4 runs, all of them earned. 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts through 59 pitches, 39 for strikes. Be very interesting to find out how long Hartman can go here, and considering that Virginia does have the extra day before the midweek game with the Easter holiday tomorrow, might factor into Coach Pollard's thinking. Williams comes up empty that time, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, that's a back-to-back splitters. He kind of used that splitter to kind of run back over the plate. You can see it really diving away from the left-handed hitter when he tunnels that with his fastball, meaning it looks just like a fastball coming out, but the bottom just falls out of it. There it is again, trying to induce another swing. With 2 strikes as a pitcher, you're trying to induce a swing without throwing it in the strike zone, but it needs to look and appear to the hitters like it's going to be a called strike.
First team All-Conference USA at WKU a year ago. Hartman goes off speed, and Chase Williams now 0 for 3.
Yeah, that's another good-looking breaking pitch from Hartman right there, kind of showing you his arsenal. That one bore in. You can kind of see it gets underneath his hands a little bit, which is a very tough spot for a left-handed hitter. When you get something underneath their hands from a right-handed pitcher, that's really the one spot for a lefty that's a lot of trouble.
Hartman also a second-team midseason All-American according to D1 Baseball. This guy has ventured around college baseball, his 5th different stop. Western Carolina, Florida Southwestern State. Back at the D1 level at Florida Gulf Coast. Then just an awesome season at WKU a year ago. This is another guy that was a prized addition via the transfer portal, and he has put forth his best stuff so far in a Cavaliers jersey. 2-0 pitch to Sheffield into there for a strike. Noah's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a line out. Harrison Didowick made the web gem play out and left to deny Sheffield extra bases.
Well, you can see with Hartman, he is not afraid to throw any and all of his pitches in any count. I mean, he was behind 2-0 there and throws a curveball, which is not traditional, especially with 2 outs. but he's very willing to throw any of those pitches.
Off the end of the bat, towards the Virginia dugout and out of play, about 7 rows up.
Right there into the sun seats here at Disharoon Park. Those seats over there down the third base line are very toasty.
You need the SPF 50 if you're sitting on that side?
Yes, you do, especially on a day where it's going to get up in the mid-80s. Those nice plastic seats. God, I love baseball.
Just a lot of people standing in the concourse, too. I mean, this place is packed today. It's great to see.
That one hit off the top of our roof.
Thankfully, we have it. It's great to see these ACC baseball environments, whether here in Charlottesville or down in Carolina, across the board. It's great to see all this fan support, see this game grow. That hits off the back of Sheffield on a 3-2 pitch. So FSU with the 2-out base runner here.
The hard-hitting analysis being that hurts, no matter how hard you get hit. That was a splitter that just got out. That must have slipped out of his hand, because Hartman's usually got pretty good control over that splitter, and that one just must have slipped. It is a pretty humid day out here, and
well, now FSU tries to take advantage, and the Seminoles have been much better today in terms of hitting with runners on. They are 4 for 10 in those situations, and yesterday FSU 5 for 19. Braden Dowd, who leads the current members of the team, if you will, with 6 homers without Miles Bailey in there. Dowd singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. Walked back in the 1st. Transfer from USC a couple of years with the Trojans out west. Big rip and a miss that time, and it's 2-1. Sheffield has only stolen 2 bases this season. Rubber game of a 3-game set. Virginia won the opener on Thursday 4-3. Florida State responding with a 3-run victory yesterday. 3-1 count now from Hartman, with Hunter Carnes looming on deck.
wouldn't surprise me to see if they get him running here. See if they can't take advantage of a ball in the zone.
Sheffield stays put, outside for ball 4. So the Seminoles with two out base runners here, and a big chance for Hunter Carnes. Dowd reaches base for the 3rd time today. So Carnes, who was the preseason ACC Freshman of the Year last season, highly touted recruit, #1 catching prospect in the class of 2024. He was drafted out of high school, elected to go to college. And he is really rounding into form. A very respectable hitter a season ago. He hit below 300 at 286, hit 6 homers. But he is starting to put together all those raw tools. Behind here now, 0-2 to Hartman. Carnes provided FSU a 3-0 lead with an RBI double in the last inning, but he's frozen here for strike 3. Hartman goes off speed and fools the cleanup hitter for FSU. although the competition is different, Virginia scored 69 runs on opening weekend against Wagner, and they continued to put up really good offensive numbers for much of the season. But over the last 5 ACC games, things have kind of cooled down for Chris Pollard's bunch.
Yeah, you see these strikeout numbers here. You know, the old adage is when we're swinging and missing, it means we're not on time. And so what you'd like to see is these hitters try to get back into their groove and start splitting the baseball in half when they get back in the box. But, you know, the strikeouts, no coach wants to see strikeouts. I know, you know, the offensive adage is we have home runs, walks, and strikeouts, the 3 outcome offensive strategy. And to an extent, UVA's done that, with some really good offensive numbers. But when you start facing ACC elite level pitching with swing and miss stuff, you have to be able to put the ball in play and make hard contact.
And look, if we're to further explain some of those numbers, right, part of that is, okay, we just went up to Brighton and we saw a lot of good pitchers for Boston College, but we also dealt with cold temperatures. And then if you're still on the Virginia perspective, you say, okay, well, we saw Wes Mendez and we saw Trey Beard this weekend against Florida State, 2 of the best pitchers, not only in the ACC, but in the nation. So, look, are you always going to face arms of that high caliber? Are you always going to play in temperatures that cold? The answer to both questions is certainly no. But you want to challenge yourself in uncomfortable situations like these.
Yeah, I know, and when you're talking about a team with postseason aspirations like both of these teams do, the #1 measuring stick is going to be how you compete against this talent and these teams.
Bryson Moore with his 3rd strikeout over the last 2 innings across his last 4 batters faced, as Sam Harris goes down this time.
And if you're breaking it down, that is a really high-level breaking pitch right there. That one almost has 3,000 RPMs on the spin rate, which is an elite-level breaking pitch right there. And Bryson Moore has definitely shown the elite stuff that his teammate Trey Beard was talking to us about an inning ago.
Yeah, Coach Jarrett was telling us that Bryson is very intuitive, he is savvy, he's very advanced in that category. He really likes to work hard. And when he mixes in some of those extra pitches, if you will, he really becomes effective, because if he finishes down with the fastball, that's a great start. But some of those other pitches that he has in his arsenal, when they are working, look out.
Yeah, he really emphasized, when we asked him about Bryson, he emphasized finishing pitches. And it gives you a little bit more ride on the fastball. We have the luxury up here where we get to see some of these kind of advanced numbers. And his stuff is really, really good and has a lot of the elite he's giving a lot of the elite metrics that you hear kind of talked about in Major League Baseball circles.
Guy who's always had the talent, Gatorade Player of the Year out of DC in 2023, went to Gonzaga College High School. He was a 3-sport athlete, football, baseball, and basketball. Top 8 recruit out of the state of Virginia as well in his class. Deals the 2-2 low and outside, and it's a full count here to Joe Tiroli. Popped up his first time up.
Yeah, the one thing I want to continue to watch as the UVA hitters continue to face Bryson Moore is, can they still exhibit that classic patience and being really aggressive in the zone?
I think the answer to your question there is no.
No. And as soon as I said that, swings at a bad pitch.
3rd straight strikeout for Bryson Moore.
Yeah, that pitch was off the plate. And that's just a case of getting a little too anxious, and that's what happens in the ACC when you see that level of a breaking pitch. But one of the things that has characterized UVA's team this year is they have not had a big chase rate, meaning swinging pitches outside of the zone. But when the strikeout numbers go up, not surprising, the chase rate goes up.
Yeah, Virginia's third in the country entering this weekend in walks, only behind two other ACC teams, Pitt and Georgia Tech. Florida State will see the Yellow Jackets next weekend. These are professional hitters at the plate, and I think most understand that you'll hit your lulls within the season, and that might just be the case for Virginia right now, just trying to snap out of it as quickly as possible before time runs out against Bryson Moore and these Noles. Didowick chases. Bryson Moore is hitting his spots at his former institution. 5 strikeouts over the last 6 batters faced.
We have seen a really impressive Bryson Moore today, making his return to Charlottesville after being here for 2 years. But we see that massive breaking ball right there, and Bryson has struck out 5 of the last 6 hitters with really elite stuff. You know, he got to talk to Trey Beard a couple of innings ago, and he said, man, this stuff's elite. And it's like he heard him from the dugout while he was pitching. And Bryson Moore has really impressed us so far this afternoon and put up 4 zeros for the Noles on this Game 3. Really pivotal Game 3 right here.
You were enamored with that particular pitch, though. Why?
Well, you know, for a left-handed hitter, anything running under your hands, kind of towards your back knee, is really difficult to handle, and he put it in an exact right spot where Didowick had no chance of touching that one.
You're talking about a guy in Didowick who has shown pop throughout his years in college baseball. 23 homers in a season 2 years ago. We have seen a precise Bryson Moore in this game. Virginia now on its second pitcher as Lucas Hartman continues. He's already recorded 4 outs. And that is lined the opposite way and ducks down for a base hit for Kelvin Paulino Jr. He has reached base now twice today as FSU has a leadoff man on here in the top half of the 5th.
Yeah, I like that approach from Paulino Jr. Not trying to do too much. A short line drive swing and just pokes it through the right side of the infield. And Florida State has a leadoff hitter on again. And
now they bring up Eli Putnam. Squares to bunt, puts it down in a really good spot. That'll advance the runner as Hartman throws to first in time. Paulino into scoring position here with 1 out. In steps Cal Fisher now for Florida State. Fisher is 2 for 2. We flash it back to the second inning. Hit one out to left field for a homer.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I think what Coach Jarrett's trying to do here is get some of his guys that he thinks are swinging the bat really well a chance with runners on base. And, you know, he moves a runner for with Putnam right there to get Cal Fisher a look with the runner on base again, and hoping, you know, kind of the old adage of small ball. you know, you actually have a lot of big innings with small ball. You don't, playing for one run can a lot of times lead into a really crooked number and putting pressure on the defense.
And also because you're taxing the opposing pitcher, running up his pitch count, correct?
Yeah, you run the pitch counts up. And one of the things, you know, a home run clears the bases. It also clears the pitcher's mind because he knows, okay, I can get back to the windup, nobody on base. But when you just have this really slow, methodical offense that we're kind of seeing from Florida State today, the mental load still is on the pitcher because there's another base runner on. And then you get your big bop like you did from Fisher back in the second inning.
And you can start to sense that Fisher is finding his stroke. He's ahead here now, 3-1. In the series against Duke last weekend, Florida State won 2 out of the 3. Fisher, though, he was 0 for 10 with 4 strikeouts. In the midweek game, had a couple of hits against Stetson, had a hit yesterday, and now 2 today, including an infield single back in the 3rd. 3-1 from Hartman, outside, ball 4. And the Seminoles have 2 men on with only 1 out.
It'll be interesting to see how Virginia plays this, because this is now going to be the second time through the order for Hartman. And I wonder how many times he's gotten through to the second time and seeing a hitter twice. But he did strike out Stutzer in his last AB. And let's see if he can get a ball on the ground for the UVA defense.
Now, Hartman is a guy who has started games before. He made 8 starts with FGCU 2 years ago, but has not really been in that position much since. He's ahead here, 2 strikes on John Stutzer, the freshman right fielder. Stutzer struck out his last time up back in the 3rd. Reorganize the flow, my friend.
Yeah, looks good, man. Right here, we may just, I don't know if the coaches liked him squaring around right there, just to check in, see what's going on. Maybe a breather. With 1 out, I'm not quite sure about squaring around to bunt. Maybe he saw something. Maybe they're just checking, but.
0-2 from Hartman, poked foul. Maybe just trying to throw Lucas's timing off just a tad.
You know, when you're in the ACC, when you're coaching college baseball, you got to use every tool in the toolbox to disrupt timing and to help your players get in the right frame of mind.
Fisher off first, Paulino off second. That's ripped to right. Johnson barely has to move. 2 out.
Yeah, he crushed this ball. Unfortunately, he's not going to have anything to show for it. That's 105 off the bat, and Johnson barely had to move. You can see the spots out there from where these guys play. I'm pretty sure Johnson was on that spot where the grass is worn. You see that right there with Didowick. You know, this is kind of where they got, this is usually where they set up, and that went right to him.
One bounce up the middle and through. McCulley delivers. Paulino rounds 3rd. He scores without a throw. A McCulley missile gives Florida State a 5-run edge.
Yeah, another hard line drive. This one 104 off the bat. I don't know if I've seen Hartman give up some hard contact like this before, but Florida State has clearly really tried to shorten their swings up, hit hard line drives through the middle of the baseball field, and this one is hit hard enough to sneaks past Tiroli right there, and 2 out RBIs again for Florida State.
Seminoles matched their most runs in a game in this series. They had 5 yesterday, and still plenty of opportunity in this game as Hartman spikes one in the dirt against Chase Williams, who's 0 for 3. Florida State now 3 complete times through the order, and we're still in the 5th. Can't exaggerate this point enough for FSU, right? You see your main man go down, devastating injury, gruesome, a week ago today. And then you look ahead in the schedule. Oh, shucks. We're playing one of the best teams in the country in Virginia on the road. To win this series, given what's happened in the last week for this program, would just be tremendous.
You know, you're looking for ways to build confidence. And I can't think of anything, given the circumstances they've gone through in the last week, that would really solidify the confidence kind of going into another brutal swing in the ACC.
Williams up the middle, another bullet through for a base hit. Fisher comes in to score. McCulley makes his way to third. Williams surprises Becker, and he gets to second base. Everything on the up and up for the Noles.
We are seeing just line drive after line drive out of the Florida State offense right now. That one, another hard bullet right up the middle. And you could see Williams stumble a little bit out of the box, but as soon as he knows that's in the gap, he is thinking too. And with his speed, he was able to get in there, and he just caught, you know, that is not typically something you'd see from Becker, but he just did not think that Williams was going to try it. And the really aggressive, borderline reckless chance to go to second base pays off there for Williams.
But let me ask you this. So we talk about the injury all the time, right, with Balin. I know FSU fans are sick of it, but, right, we talk about different ways to get extra bases, right? There it is on display.
Oh, well, here's the thing. When you run like he does, you can afford to take more chances. You can afford to. And, you know, mentally, you have those times where you just really don't think that the runner's going to go. But you have to be focused every single time. And Becker clearly did not think Chase was trying to go to second base, and he did.
So it's the third double on the season for Williams. And the home plate umpire here, and Jeff Doy, has had enough of whatever's being discussed in the FSU dugout. Link Jarrett telling his players to quiet down. Doy joined by Ronnie Whiting at first base, Kevin Sweeney at second, Brandon Cooper, our third base umpire today, and Jeff is ready to continue play. Sheffield on a 1-1, fouls it off, solid contact there. Hartman ahead though, 1-2. Yes. Lucas only threw a small amount of pitches in his last outing against Florida State on Thursday. He's reaching back for some bonus ball today. 1-2 upstairs, 2-2.
Yeah, but they clearly have something on him. They're just getting a second look at him. This second time through the order, he has really struggled with the swing and miss. You know, he's got that swing and miss fastball, even though he doesn't have high velocity. He doesn't throw it in the upper 90s, but they have really tried to barrel him up and been successful thus far.
Helium ball off the bat of Sheffield, and Harris puts that away for the final out of the inning. It's another two-run inning for FSU. Noles up by half a dozen. In Charlottesville, Florida State leads Virginia 6-0. Pleased to be joined by UVA head coach Chris Pollard. Coach, what do you need to see from your men here in the back half of this ball game?
Yeah, I think, well, the biggest thing offensively, we need to get back on the fastball. That was the game plan from the beginning, and credit Moore, he's gotten us off the fastball, and I feel like we're hunting off speed instead of up there trying to ambush the fastball. We got a long ways to go in this ball game. We got a really good offense, but we got to get back on the fastball.
Yeah, Coach, Bryson's been really good today on the mound.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you want to see from the pitchers coming out of the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, we need to keep pounding the zone, but we've also missed in the zone a couple of times in two-strike situations where we had a chance to put a guy away, and we just left the ball in the heart of the plate, and they've done a good job of taking advantage of it.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
That's Chris Pollard, the Virginia native, making his way back home here to UVA, trying to get his team out of a 6-run rut as he sends up 6, 7, and 8, beginning with Jake Weatherspoon. So what'd you take away from that, sitting on the fastball a little bit more, something he said there off the top?
Well, what you do off speed to do, it's why it's called off speed, is it gets you off your timing. And so when you have your hitters who are timed up for the fastball, it is much easier to track the baseball, track these elite level spinning, breaking pitches, changeups, splitters, everything you're seeing from these pitchers nowadays. But you have to be on time for the fastball. If you are not on time for the fastball, you are not going to have a successful day at the plate. No matter if you're throwing 100 or if you're throwing 88 and everything in between, and the different types of when you have good timing on the fastball, your barrel is in the zone much longer, and you can really adjust to the off-speed breaking pitches and things like that.
And it's not like Moore throws an overpowering fastball. It's a very respectable one, but it's not nearing triple digits for the most part, like we've seen from a guy like Noah Yoder for UVA. Saw him out of the pen yesterday.
But one of the things that good pitchers do is they get you in between. And what you don't want to be is late on the fastball and early on the off-speed stuff.
We've got a couple of softball series finales today on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 10 Florida State hosting Notre Dame at Graff Field at 2 Eastern, and at 6 Eastern, number 12 Virginia Tech takes on Clemson at Tech Softball Park in Blacksburg. You know, mentioning that FSU softball program, 23 consecutive wins. Lonnie Alameda has done a fantastic job with that program, now 34-4. Couldn't believe this, Robbie, when I saw it. Issa Torres, their star player, is hitting .621 on the season. Not the on base, not the slug, no, batting average, over 600.
That's insane.
I didn't know you could do that. Taking the show, if you put it down a beginner, I don't think you could do that.
I think I saw that graphic on ACC Network. It said Issa is a star.
Makes sense. Good usage of the name and the spelling.
I love a good pun.
I'm sure you do. Getting to know you just a tad. It's part of your repertoire. Kyle Johnson behind here 0-2 as Bryson Moore continues his brilliant day. 4 1/3 scoreless. Punch out for strike 3. That is now 6 strikeouts for Bryson Moore all over the last 3 innings.
Yeah, that fastball is running back just a little bit. And that is a really good, really good pitch right there by Bryson Moore with the fastball. Really caught Kyle Johnson off guard.
And that's not going to make Coach Pollard happy, right, based on what he just talked to us about?
Well, I think especially if you're looking fastballs early, when you're on time with the fastball, even with 2 strikes, I think you'd like to shorten it up. But regardless, yes, that is what Coach Pollard is talking about, that we need to be on time with the fastball, and then we can adjust with 2 strikes. But with these big power hitters, with these big swings, you'd like to see them shorten up and really get on time for the fastball. Look, it's not a secret sauce. You got to put the ball in play.
100%. Generally, when UVA does, it's a team that is potent offensively. 52 home runs on the year, and Parada wants to add to that total, lifting it to right. But on the warning track is Stutzer, just in front of it, puts it away, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Bryson Moore, his 3rd straight, 9 in a row, retired by the former Cav.
The ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Back in Charlottesville, another change on the mound for Coach Pollard and the Who's. Lucas Hartman departs, and the junior Matt Augustine is on the bump.
Yeah, not a lot of opportunity here, but he's only pitched four and a third innings right here, but he's got some good strikeout numbers there. Looking to see what we can get out of him because, you know, they got to bridge the gap. They still got 4 innings to cover. And Coach Pollard's wanting to win this game, so he needs guys coming out of the bullpen. Number one, throwing competitive strikes. He mentioned that when we talked to him. It's one thing to throw in the strike zone, but it's another to really throw competitive strikes that are not in the hitter's hot zones. And so I think that's one of the things he's really emphasizing with the pitching staff for the duration of this game.
So Hartman departs. And the veteran right-hander, he gave up a couple of runs in his outing, 2 1/3. Gave up 4 hits, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts, hit a batter as well. Not his best performance. 55 total pitches. Hartman had only allowed 5 earned runs across 34 innings of work prior to today. And now Augustine just tries to keep this team within a shadow of FSU. Noles on top by half a dozen as they send 3, 4, and 5 to the plate, beginning with Braden Dowd, who has reached base all 3 times today. A couple of walks, a single, and a run scored.
Yeah, with the Florida State offense, when Chase Williams got that double in the top of the 5th, now every single hitter in their lineup has gotten on base at least once.
We discussed earlier the idea for Florida State of just getting maybe 5 to 10% more from every single guy in the lineup. Well, that's a good indication of that. Temps rising up to the mid-80s here in Charlottesville as we have moved past noon Eastern. Virginia has only lost 3 times here at home. All have been in ACC play, to Virginia Tech once, to Wake once, and to FSU yesterday. Augustine's fastball rides outside, and it's a 3-1 count here to Dowd. Hunter Carnes on deck.
Yeah, Augustine showcasing that fastball changeup combination. You can kind of really tell he really takes a lot off of that changeup. The effectiveness is going to be if he can make it look like he's throwing a fastball.
Well, that time he spikes it for ball 4. Augustine pitching for the first time in about a week and a half. He was featured in the midweek game against Maryland in Fredericksburg back on the 24th of March, an inning and a third scoreless against the Terps. This, though, a much different ball club in Florida State, so big opportunity to prove himself to a first-year head man and Coach Pollard. Augustine appeared 4 times in the early moments of this year. 22 appearances a couple of years back. He did not pitch last season. Cavaliers, by the way, have made a change behind the dish. As Noah Juris has come on, and he can't come up with the baseball. So man in scoring position with nobody out for Florida State, as the energy in this building has really been suctioned by Florida State. 1-0 to Carnes. Augustine hopeful for the call, but did not get it from Jeff Doy. 2-0. Brady Kirkpatrick will make his way out to the mound to have a conversation here with Augustine.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a mechanical issue. He must see something he doesn't like from Matt. It'll be interesting to see if he can make that adjustment.
Now 6 of his first 7 have been outside the strike zone.
Yeah, he also spiked one. He's missed with a couple of different pitches. And typically when you see that kind of a consistent misses, there's some type of a mechanical issue going on. These pitchers and these pitching coaches are so in tune with the motion of throwing that it can kind of be hard for the general person to understand what these changes are. But to these guys out here, it's a really large adjustment mid-game just because they're so detailed in every movement they make.
He's coming off a bicep injury that cost him the entirety of last year. Said, look, you're going to have some little bumps in your road. This is just going to be another one of those. Good approach to it. Said the coaching staff teaches us to be just like a lacrosse ball and bounce right back. He's trying to bounce back right now from a difficult start to his outing today. He can get up to about the mid-90s. Inside, ball 3.
Yeah, Carnes is going to be sitting on one pitch. He's got one pitch in his mind that he's looking for. See if he can really capitalize here.
3-1 to Carnes. Low for ball 4. And the Seminoles have 2 men on with nobody out. Back-to-back walks issued by Augustine.
You know, now Florida State really has the luxury of how they want to play offense because, you know, we had seen a lot of line drives out of the Florida State offense, but you did see a couple of bunts. You actually saw a sacrifice bunt attempt here early. You have the opportunity. Do you want to continue to using the kind of strategy that has had you success, or do you want to let these kids hit with a 6-run lead? It's a really good spot for the offense to be in.
Bouncing ball to third, slap the bag for 1. Murray across the diamond on one hop. Yes! That fires up the crowd. 2 out in the inning. Paulino sent back to the dugout.
Well, Noah Murray makes honestly, he makes a great play just gloving this. He's pretty far off the line, and he gloves it, steps on the base, settles himself, so makes a good strong throw across. Not trying to do too much. What a good job there by Harris of using his big frame to catch the baseball, and that's an excellent play. For all of you guys at home playing third base, there's a reason it's called the hot corner. And when you got runners on first and second, when the ball takes you as a third baseman, you kind of have to go where the ball takes you. But when it takes you over there to third base, the ball's hit towards third base. Your body's running towards third base. In Noah's case, he laid out for third base. He tags it with his glove, steps up and makes a good strong throw across the infield, which is exactly where you want that play to go. You want that play going back across to first base rather than to second base.
Now the casual Cav fan might be wondering, why is he still in the lineup? Well, number 1, he walks, and number 2, he makes defensive plays like that.
Double plays are a pitcher's best friend. A lot of people think it's strikeouts. It is double plays.
Paulino grounding into his second double play of the season. 1-1 count here to Putnam. Eli lays off. Strike zone perhaps thinning a bit in the estimation of UVA fans. 2-1. Putnam had the RBI single back in the 3rd inning that put Florida State up 4-0. 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th for the Noles. Augustine waits, now delivers with 1 on the pitch clock. Popped up. Right side of the infield, the first baseman Harris takes charge and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So 2 walks given up by Augustine, but he gets out of trouble. 6-0 FSU. Moore's magnificence on full display here in Charlottesville.
Yeah, he's been really efficient. You know, his pitch count's up right around 60. He's pitched 5 innings, and we were just talking about it. When you're going about an average of 12 pitches an inning, not to mention he's got 6 strikeouts, he has been as impressive as it gets. And you see right there, he's retired the last 11 batters. 6 of them have been strikeouts.
3 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. Moore has tossed as many as 86 pitches this season, so if he works efficiently, you'd have to think he could get through 7 innings today. We'll find out. 9-1-2 here for the Who's, starting with Noah Murray. Cavaliers would just love a leadoff base runner here, and this is the perfect guy to do it. Leads the team with 35 walks on the season. But Bryson Moore has been in control for much of today, as that is popped foul over the screen and out of play. Murray, who made the fantastic defensive play in the last half inning, turning a double play against Kelvin Paulino.
Tell you what, though, that's a spark for a rally. You make a big defensive play, get your team back in the dugout with a 0, get on base.
Enters today with an on-base streak of 20 consecutive games. Gets to 1-2 here off the breaking ball miss from Moore. Murray, a Crozet native, not too far away from Charlottesville. Began his career with Duke under Coach Pollard, a couple of years with the Blue Devils. Only had 43 at-bats in his 2 seasons down in Durham. Swing and a miss, though, for Murray here. And he strikes out for the 34th time. Coming up, 4 Eastern. Check that. Baseball we've got next week. Big 3-game series between number 7 FSU, number 3 Georgia Tech. Thursday and Friday night's games are on ACC Network, with the series finale Saturday afternoon. ACC Network Extra. Like everything else, all games are also available on the ESPN app. 7 strikeouts now for Bryson Moore today. Be exciting to see how that series shapes up with Georgia Tech, program that returns 8 of their 9 starters from the Oxford Regional a year ago. They have had a really caliber bat in Advalincula as Becker grounds out here. Bryson Moore is making things look very easy here in Charlottesville today. Well, we talked about it off the top with Eric Becker and AJ Gracia and the importance of getting their bats catalyzed. It's not been the case.
Yeah, you want nobody on base with these 2 guys coming up. And again, when you've retired 12 straight, as impressive as Bryson Moore has been, a lot of weak contact, even when he has given up contact over the last few innings. I've also really noticed his pace. He has been very steady. Sometimes when you get into a groove like he's in, it can get a little quick. It can, you want the ball back, give it to me, give it to me. And it's like, he's been very methodical, just trying to repeat each pitch.
Walk me through the opposite side, though, for UVA. And I know every team differs, but you're in a skid like this, nobody's getting on base. Would you rather, hey, every man just take it upon themselves, think about what you're doing, or do you want that 1 or 2 vocal leaders on the team to really spearhead the attack and use that vocal leadership?
I think for everyone, it talks about, I think everyone in the dugout knows what the task is. And I think one of the things that can be the biggest mistake in these situations is people trying to do too much. And so we've seen that a lot, you know, with bad swings, early outs in the at-bat, with poor swings on poor pitches. And what you want to do is each hitter, you want to say, hey, guys, we're going to go up there, and regardless of the outcome, we're going to try to be the toughest out that this pitcher's faced today. And when you can start stacking those types of at-bats in a row, when you're down by 6 runs or however much, that really starts to add up.
Oh, right off the glove of Dowd. He was ready to sprint into the dugout. Instead, Gracia stands on second base. Might that be the pivot point of this ball game for UVA?
Well, Dowd just took his eyes off this one. Now, Gracia hit this ball hard. This was on a line. And he just took his eyes off of that one, let it catch to his side a little bit. Was honestly running back to the dugout. And that is clearly an E8.
First error on the season for him.
But that's also the hardest hit baseball we've seen from the UVA lineup today. And Bryson Moore has not been in the stretch very often, or with runners on base. He does kind of pitch from the stretch a little bit. Let's see if that changes his perspective a little bit.
13 straight retired. That streak comes to an end. And now Sam Harris comes to the plate with runner in scoring position. Against right-handed pitchers this season, Harris has dominated. .451 coming into today. But he is 0 for 2 against Bryson Moore. The 0-1. Harris lays off. Count evens up at 1. Joe Tiroli on deck if the inning continues.
And for Harris, the goal right here is not to tie the baseball game. It is just to pass the baton to the next guy.
1-1. Harris ropes one. It is a fair ball. Now check that. They've called it foul. And they are immediately going to look at this one. The home plate umpire, John Doy, put the headset motion on to his fellow umpires.
Typically, this means that the umpires who saw something, well, number one, that challenge came from UVA.
Now Harris is sure of it.
It's easy to think that all of the umpires agree on all of the calls, but we'll see what happens here and how they assess it. This might take a while, because if they do call it fair, they're going to have to determine where these runners would have been. But our first base umpire, Ronnie Whiting, definitely took a long look at that, and he did call it foul. So it's going to have to be clear and convincing a fair ball for them to overturn this.
Yeah, my apologies to the folks back at home. I had a pole right in front of me that was shielding off Mr. Whiting down the first base line, so my apologies.
My gut shot was that it was a fair ball. But here's the other thing. That was 105 off the bat. Your umpire is spinning on one foot to track the baseball down the right field line. So for everybody who's out there saying, well, I can't believe this, what a call, why did he say that? It is much more difficult when you're standing there and a 100+ mile an hour ball is going right towards you or right past you to spin and do a 180-degree turn and make the correct call.
They must have indisputable video evidence to change the call. Again, originally called a foul ball. They have made their determination. And it remains a foul ball, so Sam Harris has to trudge his way back to the plate, pick up the bat. Here's one more look. Just tough to make a determination from that. That's why you understand how the umpires came to their decision, sticking with what they called originally. So it's a 1-2 count here to Sam Harris with 2 out. A.J. Gracia remains on second base following the error in center field from Dowd. Moore looks back, fires in. 2-2.
Yeah, with 2 outs here on the infield, all you're trying to do, anything on the ground, you're just trying to knock it down and keep that ball in the infield to prevent that run from scoring.
Thumps one foul here. Another glance at the foul ball call.
That ball hit right at his feet. No wonder he What a tough call.
Oh. Does his shadow play a part in this too? Looking down at it. Very tough call. Harris stays alive.
I do know that they do not use chalk to line the fields. They use spray paint, and spray paint doesn't spray or make as clear of a delineation of when a ball hits it or not. But here's the other thing. Like I said, that was 105 off the bat, and it bounced within 2 feet of him.
Right off of Moore, he keeps it right in front of him.
Kick save in a beaut.
Stellar stuff from Bryson Moore, preventing Virginia from getting on the board, and that's the type of day it's been for the Hoos. Their former mate with a massive rejection. That ball's not going up the middle. It's staying attached to me. And a 6. Now the fans here in Charlottesville, peppered in orange, they are trying to get back into this ball game, something to be energized about. But a guy they used to root for in Bryson Moore has held the fort down very well. It is tanning season, but they're not enjoying the baseball just yet. Florida State has only surrendered 2 hits, and it's a 6-run advantage for the Noles trying to win this top 10 showdown on the road here in Central Virginia. 4th different pitcher today for Coach Pollard as the veteran Joe Colucci comes in for UVA.
Yeah, he's had a lot of experience, Joe has, and again, we're trying to see if he can come out and throw strikes and be competitive in the zone and get his offense back in the dugout. That's really all we're trying to do here.
Now Colucci threw a scoreless inning, couple of strikeouts against Old Dominion in the midweek game on Tuesday for the Cavaliers. Virginia won that one against the Monarchs in run rule fashion, 16-2. Facing a deficit right now as Colucci tries to calm things down as he faces the bottom 3 in the order, beginning with Cal Fisher. But this has been a strong spot in the lineup for the Noles today. Fisher has reached base 3 times. Stutzer has a single, and McCulley has a single as well. 11th appearance on the season for Colucci. 2nd year with the Cavaliers. Spent a year at Maryland his freshman season. Made just 6 appearances out of the bullpen there. Then pitched for Harford Community College in Maryland 2 years back. 2-0 the count here to Fisher. So Augustine pitched a scoreless inning. Walked a couple, faced 4, got the big double play. Colucci struggling to throw strikes here out of the pen.
Yeah, the way Fisher took that 2-0 pitch, I think he was taken all the way. I think he's trying to let him throw a strike for strike 1.
There will not be a strike one. And a 4-pitch walk here for Fisher to lead off the 7th. Coming up at 4 Eastern on ACC Network, we'll have women's lacrosse action for you. Number 18 Duke hosting number 3 Syracuse. Should be a great one. And like everything else on our networks, it's available on the ESPN app as well. Reggie Thorpe doing a great job with the Syracuse lacrosse program in his first year at the helm there. Man on with nobody out for Stutzer, who squares to bunt. Testing Colucci, fires, safe. John Stutzer reaches on a bunt. And the Noles have 2 men on with nobody out.
Yeah, Colucci was slow getting off the mound to field this.
That's a big man too at 6'5".
And then he was slow to get rid of it. Again, really nice bunt, deadens it, and he's running that way. This is a bunt for a hit, you can tell. Bobbles it a little bit. But again, Stutzer getting down the line. Hopefully he didn't tweak anything.
Phil Montano is the Florida State athletic trainer and the training staff out there with Link Jarrett as well. Stutzer, who is making his 26th start on the season as he is testing out the injured area of his body. John with his 2nd hit of the game after not having a hit in the first 2 games of this series. Now, Florida State already has had a slight scare because of that double bag down the first base line. Chase Williams last weekend, checked that in the midweek game against Stetson. He was removed in the 8th inning on a ground out to second. His left ankle had touched the double bag awkwardly. And we had a long conversation with Link Jarrett about his thoughts on the double bag.
Yeah, he had a really interesting take on it, which
he said he likes the bigger bag, wants these guys to get prepared for the major league level.
Well, he also pointed out correctly that none of these kids have played with a double bag before, and so their eyes are so used to stepping in fair territory, which is where the white bag is, for their entire life. And now you've asked them to change it, and so under the guise of safety, which we all think is very important. However, now you're asking these peak level athletes to step in a completely different spot with a completely different visual. And it's taken a little bit of a time to adjust for some of their hitters, and you know what? You roll an ankle every once in a while. The difference here, whereas Stutzer tried to, he did a little push bunt to try to bunt for a hit. Right here, it looks like McCauley's trying to bunt to sacrifice both runners over. Let's see if he continues to try that with 2 strikes, or if he tries to put a ball in play.
Not bunting. Lets it go outside for ball 1. Now it's good to see that Stutzer is okay to continue here on the base paths. Fisher at second, still nobody out of the inning. Joe Colucci trying to take himself out of the mess he has put himself into. 2-2, and now a full count. We have Chase Williams on deck. Double-digit hits for the Noles today. To third, Murray can't make the backhanded play. Fisher rounds third, he'll score easily. Moving up to third is Stutzer, and pulling into second base, McCauley. So they pulled off the bunt. They go with the traditional hits, and McCauley gets it by Murray. Florida State leads by a touchdown.
Yeah, this is just a ground ball down the line here. And I think Murray should have had that one. When you have those top spin ground balls, the ball can kind of bound on you, hit hard and continue.
And an E5 has been given here. So Murray charged with the error. 2 men in scoring position now, and UVA brings the infield in, trailing by 7. On the 1-0 to Williams. It has all become unglued for UVA at the moment. Cavaliers in jeopardy of dropping their second straight ACC series after winning their first 3 against Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. FSU has won all 3 of its series so far. Victories against Wake, Duke, NC State. Lucarelli getting warm here for Virginia as Colucci is searching for answers here. 2-0. Williams into the dirt. Tag applied. Waiting. Now by Sam Harris. That allows Stutzer to score. That is very smart by Chase Williams. It ends up not really making a difference. But just in case something were to happen at third base, Florida State leads 8-0. For now, they have changed the ruling, by the way, on McCulley. They have given him a double, so no longer an error to Murray. As Kirkpatrick makes his way out to the mound once again, he'll make a pitching change here for Virginia. So Christian Lucarelli was tossing around for Virginia, the freshman right-hander. And they will go to him as Joe Colucci's day is done after only getting the 1 out on the ground out to first by Chase Williams. So Christian Lucarelli comes in. It's another 2-run inning for FSU. We step aside. Well, the Seminoles have scored multiple runs in now 4 of the last 6 innings. Bryson Moore has been fantastic in his return to Charlottesville, and Virginia's bats. It's been a measly afternoon for the Hoos. Just 2 for 20. No extra base hits today. They only had 1 yesterday on the home run from Weatherspoon. And this offense has gone silent as Virginia tries to get out of this quagmire here with Christian Lucarelli taking the bump. 6'3" freshman from Beaver Falls, PA, just outside of Pittsburgh.
He's got a low 90s fastball. And again, Coach Pollard is just looking for somebody to come in, throw strikes, and be competitive up there. And we're going to see if he can come in and command the baseball and see if he can limit the damage where it is. He comes into a tough spot because he's got a runner on third base with 1 out. And the teeth of this order with Sheffield, Dowd, and Carnes coming up.
Second outing of the week. He pitched a scoreless 7th inning against Old Dominion on Tuesday. Allowed a hit, but struck out 3 Monarchs. Sheffield looking to deposit that one to Mechanicsville. Strike 1.
Yeah, I think Sheffield was like, I see something straight, I'm gonna swing.
Well, Pop's hit over 500 of those.
Well, it's not a bad strategy when you're hit.
Dad Gary, a multiple-time Silver Slug Award winner. It's hard to believe, but Gary is the 4th to last player to reach the 500 home run club. And he did so 16, 17 years ago. Sheffield elevates one, shallow right. Harris looking through the sun, makes a catch, slings it to the plate, too late. It'll go down as a sacrifice fly for Noah Sheffield. And that gives Florida State extra cushion here, 9-0 Noles.
I'll tell you what, with that one, Sheffield must be living right, because there were a lot of things about this play that worked in his favor to get that sack RBI. A left-handed first baseman. I don't know if I've ever seen a sacrifice fly to the first baseman, but he's running with the right fielder playing way over into the right center gap. It was pretty much Harris's ball or nobody, and he does catch it, but he's also left-handed, so he has to turn and make this 360 jump turn.
And he was put into a pretzel.
Yeah, and so all of those just let another run come across, where typically a ball that's only that short wouldn't be something that even a really experienced fast base runner would try to test.
I was going to say, give a lot of credit there to McCulley, right? Realizing, hey, yeah, it might be shallow, but he's not going to generate a lot of momentum on this throw.
No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, you see him here. He has to turn his back completely to the infield, catches it, has to turn and 360 it, and just, it's a tough play. But you know what, and a very impressive catch from Harris right there, though.
And you know what, kudos to the throw as well. Although it didn't have as much might as he'd like, the accuracy of it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, he got it where it was going. He definitely got it where it was supposed to go.
But 3 in here in the 7th for Florida State. It's a 1-2 count to Dowd. Swings and misses. Strike 3. So Lucarelli comes in, gets a couple of outs, but Florida State plates 3. Seminoles domination. Let's stretch. Bottom 7 here from Charlottesville. Gorgeous day for baseball in the mid-80s. The visitors, Florida State, looking to take 2 out of 3, and the Noles lead 9-0 over Virginia. This would be a coveted series victory for FSU. D1 baseball projected national seeds. This is coming into the month. Florida State at number 14, Virginia number 5. At the very least, those two seeds will come even closer after the results of this series should the Noles hold on.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how important these series are in the ACC. As Tyroli hits a ground ball on the first pitch to shortstop. And another quick, efficient out from Bryson Moore.
Now Moore has thrown as many as 86 pitches this year. Bryson now up to 79 on the game. Might be his final inning, but you never know. Top 16 seeds get the opportunity to host the regional round. And then they get paired up in the supers before a trip to Omaha. Florida State making the second most appearances, as that one is fouled off by Harrison Didowick a long ways. Second most appearances in the NCAA tournament of any program. Texas number 1. They've had 64. Florida State at number 61 when they made it last year. Noles were a win away from making another trip to Omaha. They've made the College World Series 24 times. Lifted the opposite way now for Didowick in the corner, and Williams does not catch the baseball.
Yeah, playing left field, especially in a new park. The wind was pushing that. Honestly, the wind looks like it's pushing it away from him a little bit. There you go. Way to go, kiddo.
Chase after it, my friend.
Do you see him kind of slow down here? And one of the things when you're an outfielder, one of the fundamental things you want to see, you don't jump unless you have to because your head moves. So you want to keep your feet on the ground because it keeps your head still.
So generally, what's the routine for these outfielders when they get to a new park, right? So this series started on Thursday. What's a guy like Williams doing when he first gets to the ballpark?
Well, you do have to kind of understand, you have to understand what the differences are. And you definitely want to understand the warning track. If you look down the left field line and into the back behind the fence, you'll notice there are two different styles of warning track. There's rubber, and then there's the actual warning track gravel that helps you. And so you kind of have to know how many steps you take before you hit the fence. You have to know, where it's short, where it's long. Obviously, there's a lot of different. That's the kind of the cool part about baseball is there are a couple of they're just different little idiosyncrasies of each little ballpark and cool features like those things right there. And so you just have to get used to it. But it's never going to feel like home. That's kind of why it's a home field advantage.
Yep.
That was a really good play right there by Bryson Moore to hop off the mound and make a good strong throw over.
Keeps inducing soft contact. 7 strikeouts in the game. He's only allowed 2 hits and a walk through 6 2/3. Now Juris gets his first AB of the afternoon, and Juris smacks one to right. But Stutzer is underneath, and that'll do it for a very quiet 7th inning. Bryson Moore, more brilliance here in Charlotte. Oh yeah, he wants one more. Give him one more, coach. Bryson Moore, 85 pitches, one shy of matching his season high. He was desperately asking Link Jarrett, please give me one more inning in my former digs, getting fist bumps from his teammates. As he makes it into the dugout, though, I think that might be it. He's got a lot of hugs there in the dugout during the break, so we'll pay close attention. Seven scoreless innings.
I think we all know what he's saying.
Lucarelli remains in for UVA. Florida State leads by 9 as Hunter Carnes comes up to the plate for the 5th time today. A double and a walk. 1 for 3. So 85 pitches. Your season high is 86. If you put yourself into the mind of Link Jarrett, 9-run lead, gotta imagine it's pretty tough to leave him in there.
You know, honestly, I don't know. You could kind of go either way because he has clearly, with the way he's pitched today, earned the chance to go back out there for the 8th inning. But as a coach, you have to take the long view and say, hey, look, we know this day is important. However, does him going out for the 8th add enough value to this day? I mean, you see it right there. 2 hits, a walk, 7 Ks, seven innings pitched. You cannot ask for a better start for a guy on a game 3. And your offense has really had a consistent approach all day, and they put up 11 hits and 9 runs. I think he's done. That would be my personal preference if I was the one making the call. I also think that is exactly what you want to see as the head coach when you say, my guy wants to go back out there. So I think overall, coach feels really good about what his pitcher was saying to him coming off the mound. I also think that he's going to call it a day for his guy.
Well, it's already a career-long outing for Moore today of 7 scoreless. Lockdown stuff here in Charlottesville. Leadoff base hit for Hunter Carnes, 2nd hit of the game. He's reached base now 3 times. And now Paulino, who last time up grounded into a double play. This will be tough for Murray to turn. Instead, he'll just go to first to get the sure out as Carnes advances to 2nd.
Murray's got a lot of work over there at 3rd base today. That's a really good job of cutting it off. That's a much tougher play for the shortstop. It's much easier for the 3rd baseman to cut across and make a good strong throw over to 1st base.
Our cameras, our great production crew, they picked up Bryson making his way out of the dugout, so that might be all the indication we need to know that his day is probably done. Putnam lays off, he takes a strike, and the count evens up in 1 with Lucarelli trying to just get the Cavaliers some outs here. We've seen an assortment of right-handed pitchers for Virginia today, and if you're Cavalier fan wondering, why not mix in a lefty? Well, they don't really have many left-handed options in the bullpen. Brendan Cowan has only appeared 5 times this season. Tommy Roldan has not pitched all year. Dean Campshire has only appeared 4 times, and those are the only 3 left-handers that the Cavaliers offer up and don't start.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how University of Virginia plays it as they continue through ACC play, because obviously Kyle Johnson's going to start extending deeper into games, which means you won't need Zedkowski to piggyback with him to extend those starts like they did in game 1, which means Zedkowski would get his own start, which means Stamel would back up. So you wonder how they're going to continue to, when they do eventually reshuffle the deck and give Johnson his own start, how they're going to utilize that with Payon and Stamel and Zedkowski, with those 3 starters that have been their starters since opening day.
Yeah, they ramped up Johnson, 10 pitches, then 35, then 52 back on Thursday, as Putnam just gets a piece. They think that they're going to reshuffle things next weekend when Virginia visits Notre Dame in South Bend. I'll tell you what, though, this is a personal opinion. This has nothing to do with Coach Pollard. I kind of like the piggyback system on Friday night. Gives you a chance for the bullpen to just, hey, if we need you, great. If not, we keep the arms fresh for Saturday and Sunday. Again, just personal thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on who your pitcher is. And it has been, honestly, a master class by Virginia in managing Johnson's ramp up while ramping him up basically as the Friday night starter in games against ACC caliber hitting. It has really gone as well as you possibly could. And what you'd like to do is you'd like to have Kyle Johnson have his own day. And hopefully you get something out of him like you're getting out of Bryson Orr today.
Yeah. And look, it's tough on a guy like Zetkowski, right, as the piggybacker, right? Yeah. You don't necessarily know, when am I coming in the game, right? You're used to your normal ramp up in terms of pregame routine.
Yeah, and you wonder if they're going to continue with the 3 lefties, or if they're going to potentially use Payon in a different role, or if they're going to leave Payon there. As I know he had a rough start today, but he's had some success on the game 3 of the series, and it'll be interesting to see how they manage it once Kyle Johnson is fully pitching with no restrictions on pitch count.
Fisher, one hop to third, Murray to second, on for one, the relay to first, in time. 5-4-3, turned by Murray. Tyroli with some help as well, and Lucarelli gets out of the frame. Florida State continues its massive lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. From Charlottesville next, Murray, another sparkling play at third. A very warm Saturday afternoon here in Charlottesville at Disharoon Park. Florida State on the road with a dominant performance so far, leading 9-0. Hey, welcome into the booth. You good with the baseball there?
Yeah, love it.
All right, cool. That's Robbie. I'm Corey. Thanks so much for joining us here. This Florida State team, so they lose Miles Bailey, right? And everyone's thinking, oh, no, it's going to be a devastating injury, and it certainly is. But if they get pitching like they have this weekend, right, with Mendez starting it off and the way that Bryson Moore has pitched today, I mean, this team is really dangerous. And by the way, you have Beard, too, as your number 2 starter.
Honestly, as impressive as Bryson Moore has been today, and he certainly has been, I just love the consistent at-bats from the Florida State offense, just up and down the lineup.
Johnson skies one to center here on the warning track. Gracia leaps. It's over his head. It's over the yellow line. Kyle Johnson with the homer for the Cavs. His 5th homer on the year, and Virginia finally put something on the scoreboard.
That one was hit very high. The wind pushed it out. 108 off the bat. I tell you what, Kyle Johnson's power to dead center. That ball has gone everywhere. And apparently the Virginia Hoos just needed to see somebody other than Bryson Moore up there. because that did not take long.
So Dowd can't grab it. Johnson with the home run. And Virginia with just an ounce of confidence here to get something going. Launches one to right. Stutzer won't even make an attempt. And it's back-to-back homers for the Cavs. Antonio Parada with his second homer of the series. Virginia's awoken.
Well, again, we talked about Parada at the Open. He's been putting together some amazing at-bats. Nothing to show for it today, but right there, another one, 381 to right field. And 3 pitches. We've had 700 feet of like, oh, let's do the math again. 800 feet. Ooh. Look at Mr. Stroman out there. Great catch.
And give it to a fan, too.
And, oh, did he switch it? Did he switch ball? That was an impressive sleight of hand by Mr. Stroman, I believe.
Now they've greeted Purcell very rudely.
Oh, and now he's warming up. That's exciting.
This guy's a jack of all trades.
Good night. All right. Oh. I'm not sure. But again, UVA has been looking for some type of lightning bolt to get them going and to get the crowd moving.
So Antonio Parada now with 3 homers on the season. 2 have come in the last few days. He has put together a very nice series. Not a guy that just necessarily hits for power. He's getting on base, too, at a higher rate than one might expect. And if you get that level of consistency from your number 8 hitter, there's something to look forward to in the future as Noah Murray goes down for the 3rd time today. 1 out in the inning.
So when I was growing up, we had different types of offensive approaches, and we used hot dog condiments to talk about them. The first one was ketchup.
Okay.
The second one was mustard. The third one was relish. And so right now we're playing ketchup because it rhymes with catching up. We're down deep. And so you want to make sure your guys throwing strikes. And so one of the things that I want to see UVA do for the next 2 innings is really control the zone and see if they can get some traffic on the bases.
Eric Becker lifts one into center. Left fielder taking charge here. That's Chase Williams. 2 out in the inning. So Purcell finding a certain level of comfort here after giving up those 2 homers to Johnson and Parada. And you mentioned mustard and ketchup, man. I'm starting to get hungry at this 11 a.m. start. I wasn't sure, like, do you go for the breakfast? Do you just lay off? Do you wait for a late lunch? Had a couple of sips of the smoothie to my left, but
there you go.
For the most part, I've left it alone in the game. The reason why, the condensation that comes off the smoothie, I don't want it dripping on, like jacket or the shirt or the pants.
No, if you're not a smoothie, advanced smoothie drinker, you can really come into it. They can really create a problem. But who knows?
Gracia fouls one off here against Purcell.
Never been a smoothie guy.
No, really? Just can't get into the consistency is not you? Like, is that why?
No, if I'm going to have something like that, like, let's get a milkshake. Let's have some ice cream in it. Like,
so it's too healthy for you.
Right. And I'm sure there are wonderful desserts with fruit in them, banana pudding, things like that. But if I'm going to have dessert, like I want some chocolate or some vanilla, like I want something good in it.
So you won't have like a chocolate-covered strawberry? Just food doesn't belong with desserts for you?
I mean, I'm not that hit or miss with it, but my preference would be, like, give me a chocolate milkshake.
All right, gotcha. Maybe if I'm feeling nice, I'll take you on a trip after the game.
Oh,
maybe. So Purcell gives up his 3rd base runner here of the inning. Couple of homers and the walk. First year Seminole after coming over from USC. Now it's Sam Harris, 0 for 3 today. Strikeout sandwiched in between a couple of ground outs. He was the man that hit it off the foot of Bryson Moore, who showed off his soccer instincts to keep it in the infield. Purcell, by the way, had only given up 3 home runs this season until the back-to-back jobs from Johnson and Parada. One. Bounces in the dirt, 2-1. Now give credit to UVA, right? You can pack it in, down 9. Let's look forward to the midweek game. Let's look forward to the holiday, by the way, tomorrow. But this team trying to put in some excellent at-bats before the day comes to a close.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, you want to be really tough out here, but I'd like to see Sam. He's been pulling his eyes away from contact a little bit. I'd like to see him keep his eyes in there more. Yeah, you can kind of tell, you know, his head's kind of coming out a little bit, which is not his. Which, when you get that really good changeup by Purcell running away from him, really difficult to stay on it if your head's looking away from it.
2-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. So Harris, after collecting 5 hits on Tuesday against Old Dominion, stuck on 1 in this series. 9-2 FSU. To the 9th we go.
Yeah, the UVA offense got a little bit of a spark in the bottom of the 8th inning right there. We had Kyle Johnson with his home run, followed closely behind by Anthony Parada, which is why both of these guys are in the lineup today. But really good aggressive swings. One of our really only big highlights from the UVA offense today. Good to see. And now we got our guy, our magician, our jack of all trades from the bullpen, catching a home run. Mr. Stroman coming up there.
Yeah, the freshman makes his 14th appearance on the season. 21 innings of work. He was the starter on Tuesday against Old Dominion with Stroman. An inning and a third. He did give up 2 runs. He allowed a home run through 31 pitches. And a better start to the season. The middle of the year has been kind of so-so for Jaden. And Coach Pollard putting him in a low leverage situation here with his team trailing by 7. You see the ERA at a flat 6 through those 21 innings of work, as he will take on 8, 9, and 1 in the Seminoles order.
Yeah, I'd love to see him come out and establish that really good fastball slider combo.
Stutzer grounds it to second. 1 out of the inning.
Nothing wrong with the 1 pitch, 1 out.
Kyle Johnson no longer in right field as Zach Jackson has come in for the Who's. Jackson has started 25 games this year. 1 for 2 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch. Pitch outside here to Carter McCulley. Credited with an RBI double down the third base line in the 8th inning.
Tell you what, Stroman's got some really good run on that breaking pit or that fastball right there. When he keeps it low in the zone, it is really tough to drive that baseball. I know Coach Pollard wants to see him continue to really pound the bottom of the zone with that fastball, which will kind of give him the opportunity to throw that thing up above the zone to get some swings and misses with it.
Stroman, New York's #2 recruit in the class of 2025, according to Perfect Game. He spent his junior year at IMG, moved back home, Medford, New York, Suffolk County on Long Island. And yes, older brother Marcus, longtime major league pitcher. Marcus actually pitched at Duke right before Coach Pollard took over. Marcus was a star with the Blue Devils from 2010 to 2012. Led the nation in strikeouts back in 2010. The 1-2 to McCulley. Florida State with 9 runs on 12 hits. Virginia 2 runs on 4 hits. Each team has committed an error in this game.
Yeah, I do like that fastball from Stroman. I'd like to see it even higher, especially with the 1-2 count. I like the sequencing that they're having right here with the young man, because obviously he's got great stuff. His mid-90s fastball, mid to upper 80s breaking pitch. There's a lot to like.
Gets the strikeout here on McCulley. So Stroman, who had not pitched at all during the fall, had a little tweak in the summertime. They shut him down, really starting to get himself into the proper place on the mound. Got a couple of softball series finales today on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 10 FSU and Notre Dame at Kraft Field coming up in just under 10 minutes. And at 6 Eastern, number 12 Virginia Tech and Clemson at Tech Softball Park in Blacksburg. The Virginia softball team playing their games at Palmer Park. Man, they've had a great start to the season. 31-5 through their first 36. Playing in the postseason a year ago.
Yeah, really impressive to see the success of the Virginia Virginia softball program.
Haven't lost the first 2 games of their series down in Durham against Duke. Trying to snap out of it today. But they are currently up 2-0 on the Blue Devils in the series finale.
Some tightly contested games down there in Durham between Duke and Virginia.
Chase Williams with a double back in the 5th inning. Got a couple of RBIs in this game. Also got one on a ground out to first in inning number 7. First time as the leadoff hitter today.
Yeah, you can tell his confidence is growing. He hit a couple of balls hard last time.
You feel like sometimes for a hitter, you're just told by your manager, hey man, you're leading off today. Like that just brings instant confidence.
I think, yeah, especially when you're as talented as these guys are. I mean, he's clearly a very talented guy, switch hitter, really quick.
Fights that foul.
And he's a really intense kid. You can see it in the way he's kind of walking around, his body language.
Yeah, he's a presence out there, isn't he?
Yeah, and here's the thing with these guys. We think the coaches put expectations on them. There is no one out there that puts more expectations on them than themselves. So it's really hard when they don't have success right out of the gate. But
well, the expectations might start to grow with Stroman. 1-2-3 inning. Virginia with 3 more outs to play with. Looking for a 9th inning miracle here in Charlottesville, trailing by 7, 9-2 in favor of Florida State as these two squads finish up a 3-game set. Virginia coming up will take on James Madison in the midweek. The Dukes and the Who's going to battle. That'll be game on Tuesday. And that one is scorched to left. Off the bat, Tiroli, and a 3rd home run for UVA over the last 2 innings. He spanks a baseball 107 off the bat, nearly 400 feet.
it's good to see. That's a no-doubter. As soon as he hit that, it was clear that was leaving the yard. UVA does not lack for power. That is for sure. Ready to go. This is what Coach Ballard was talking about when we talked to him in the 5th inning on being on time for the fastball. We've seen them not be on time for the fastball, especially early in the count. And we've had some weak flyouts, some lazy pops, things like that. And you can see what happens when the talent of these guys is on time with these baseballs. It'll be interesting to see if Virginia can kind of cure their on-base problem. They need to get some runners on base for some of these long baseballs they're hitting. It's very hard to hit 9 solo shots in a row.
Yeah.
But you do need some runners on base.
Brody Purcell had given up 3 home runs the entire season. He's now given up 3 in today's ball game.
Well, Carnes took a really slow walk out there. Their pitching coach takes another really slow walk out there. So I'm no math expert, but I think they're trying to get Nard ready for another pitching change. And here he comes.
So that'll do it for Purcell. An inning plus, gives up 3 runs. Shutout no longer. Jacks from Johnson, Parada, and Tiroli have put the Who's down by 6 as we step aside here from Charlottesville. Now, Florida State just looking for 3 more outs here to put this one away and grab a series win against a top 10 team on the road. Coming up for the Noles, they'll have a game against Florida, the number 21 Gators, on ESPN2 on Tuesday. And then FSU has a 3-game set with number 3 Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets putting together a great offensive season so far. Next weekend, that should be a fantastic series next weekend on ACC Network. New pitcher now for Florida State. It's the right-hander Gabe Nard in his first season with the Noles after 3 years at Duke, where he pitched under Coach Pollard.
Yeah, Coach Jarrett was really impressed with Gabe Nard. Honestly, one of the things he told us was at the end of the year, he loves to have a lot of different guys ending baseball games with saves and things like that. And so it can be really, he said, don't look at his numbers because he had 1 bad outing, but he has pitched so much better than his ERA would say. And honestly, he got a save last week. So he really thinks highly of Gabe and has him pretty high on his list down there in the Florida State bullpen.
It was a very interesting conversation we had with Coach Jarrett the other day, and basically said, look, I looked at a lot of Mariano Rivera's numbers and when he entered games, and yes, the Sandman was known as a 9th inning shutdown guy, but he oftentimes came into games in the 8th, sometimes in the postseason, the 7th or 6th innings. And so he wants his high leverage arms to experience different situations. And like you mentioned there, Robbie, get different guys opportunities to close ball games, because in a regional or super regional experience, you just never know the order, the shuffle of the pitchers as a series or as games continue in the postseason.
No, and clearly, for instance, yesterday, he thought he needed Abraham in the 6th inning. And so he brought him in, and that's one of their high leverage relievers. And so, you have to manage the game in front of you. And an older school way of thinking is you have a clear 9th inning person and you try to line it up so that works. But for Florida State, being able to kind of piecemeal this stuff together and put these kids in multiple situations has really paid dividends for them later on in the season, because when you get to postseason baseball and ACC tournament baseball, you got to throw your best bullets out there every night, and you don't know the situation you're going to be in.
And yes, we recognize for the moment this is not a safe situation, but still opportunities to finish out a ball game. Juris off the bench draws a walk.
But it also goes to what coach, the Florida State dugout, Coach Jarrett, are thinking. This offense can score in a hurry. And we talked about that before. They can put up 4, 5, 6 runs in the blink of an eye. And so ACC baseball games are very difficult to win, even if you think you've got it in the bag. You want to go down with your best guy out there.
High chop to second. Sheffield there. Throws to first. A bit off target. Safe! Putnam off the bag. A routine play for Noah Sheffield, who has played a pretty solid second base throughout the series. That's an oopsie. Zach Jackson reaches base in his first AB.
Yeah, Jackson being a lefty, he's hustling down the line, which is good, but a little bit of a high throw. And first baseman Putnam there kind of getting on his front foot. So he had to leave the bag to catch that ball.
Now the umpires are going to video review here.
Which again, you want to make sure you get the call right. But one of the things, I've had buddies who played first base and really take that defense over there seriously. And you need to use that first base as a trampoline on a ball's up high. You want to try to catch the ball as far out in front as you can, but you have to make sure you understand if the ball is high, you rather go up to catch it rather than get stuck out on that front foot, which is what happened to Putnam there.
Umpires have come to a decision here, and they stick with the call on the field. So Jackson is safe at first.
Yeah, the throw clearly beat him by a step. You know, credit to Jackson for hustling down there, man, because, you know, if he lows it at all,
so now with 2 men on, Parada comes back to the plate after hitting a home run in the last inning. A home run here makes things very interesting. Parada takes a strike here against Nard. So Virginia will have the game against JMU on Tuesday here at home. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. And then the Cavaliers will take on Notre Dame in South Bend next weekend. The Irish club that has been featured in the top 25, receiving votes at the moment. Ball on a strike here. Parada lifts one to left. Williams is there. 2 more outs. Now make it 1 more out for Florida State to get to win this series. So it's all left now to Noah Murray, who has struck out 3 times today. Gabe Nard looking to record the final couple outs of this ball game. Murray takes a strike. Florida State squad that received some terrible news with their star player going out with an injury last weekend. Miles Bailey no longer in the fold for FSU, still with this program in terms of the emotional standpoint. Noles won on Tuesday in their midweek game against Stetson. They've come here to Charlottesville. They dropped the first game in a pitcher's duel, won yesterday's game by 3. And aside from a few late inning home runs from Virginia, Seminoles have put their foot down in this game.
yeah, up till this point, it's been a complete game for Florida State.
Murray fouls it off, and Virginia's down to its final strike. Two former teammates, Murray and Nard. Time is called here.
Yeah, coaches don't really love that. That's a pretty late time given, which he did. So he clearly was able to step out, but coaches don't love it when time's called when their pitcher has started their delivery or right before. That can lead to some interesting situations with the pitcher, and trying to stop their throwing motions can be really difficult sometimes.
Inning started with a Tiroli homer. Didowick grounded out. Juris reached on a 4-pitch walk. Jackson got on an E4. Parada with a fly out, and now Murray, who pokes one to right. Sheffield gives way for Stutzer, tucks it away for the final out of the ball game, and Florida State with a top 10 series road victory here in Charlottesville. 9-3 the final score.
Yeah, that was an impressive, complete game. The offense from Florida State, really methodical, did a great job of passing the baton, a lot of 2-out RBIs. I really liked their approach today, but for me, Bryson Moore right there, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 walk, was impressive in his return to Charlottesville. What a complete victory for Florida State, and an exclamation point on this series.
Moore now 5-1 on the year. Florida State as a team improves to 24-7, 9-3 in the ACC. Virginia, meanwhile, falls to 24-9. The Cavs now 8-7 in their first 15 in the ACC. That's going to do it for us. For our producer, Sean Fulton, director Graham Robinson, and our fantastic crew with Robbie Swap, Corey Spector saying so long from the dish. Florida State wins 9-3 on the road. The Noles win the series 2-1. Have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon, everyone, and a happy early Easter.